respect to Liam.
Yeah, but you can't say that. Liam's still earning promotion, hasn't he?
No, I know. I'll let him in.
If he hadn't earned promotion, then yeah, it'd be another.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be if he hadn't won promotion, I wouldn't be discussing this. You know, I'd have said, "Oh, I'll speak with Joe and see if I can get Joe in."
Yeah.
But fuck Joe, Liam. I've already spoke with Liam, so.
If he can get on.
Yeah, he says he's resetting his router.
Bloody hell, what's going on? My lap times have gone. The 120s on hards, and what is it with me and the softs, Matthew?
I don't know, Sutty.
I don't know either.
What are you doing? Constant 120?
120s into 119s.
That's good
on the hard tyre.
That's fucking good, that.
Yeah, then I've been it.
That's what I'm doing on the soft. Yeah, mate.
You done any more tweaks to our setup? I mean, your setup, Jamie.
Is that the actual thingy invite, Matt?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I'm going to set the wheel up, Matt.
I'll go toilet.
Alright, mate, will you...
I'll be in a minute.
Take your time, and if I'm not here when you get back, best of luck for tonight, mate.
Ah, spotty dog. Jamie, are you there?
Jamie's joined the chat, but he's fucked us all off. I'll just join the chat and let them all talk to themselves.
Am I on hards? I feel like I'm on hards.
Yes, Christopher?
I'm fucking gonna die.
Why?
Because I thought it was Friday.
It's not...
I'll be trying, honestly, because it's fucking, I'm finishing up to come off Friday, Monday, I thought it was Friday. Until I just seen the stream come up and went, oh my, why is there a stream round 2 on fucking Friday night? I'm only just, oh my god, I'm only just leaving my work.
You'll get him for by the end of quali, I bet, won't you? Will you be on for end of quali?
What was quali finish?
Just knock it back 10 minutes, 15 minutes, Matt.
I can delay a bit as well.
See, I'll get home for 20 past.
Makes it get
right, so yeah, if I get Keith to get you in the lobby, if I get you to...
Who are we delaying for, Chris? Ah, nah, fuck Chris off.
Yeah. Well, even if you sat in the lobby, then I'll get him to sit you in the lobby.
They come put me in the lobby. Oh, I can't believe that.
Oh, alright, mate. I'll catch you in a minute.
You know what you need to do now, don't you, Matt? He doesn't just drop his pad, he also drops the calendar.
He said it was Friday. What a knob.
Right, I'll go and set the wheel up.
Kid hell. You couldn't make that up, could you? Keegan, answer your fucking phone before your dad goes mental that you've not fucking done as he's told. I'm trying to share all this post. Keegs, you need to get your dad set up on PS4. You need to get him in the lobby as well, because he's only just left. He's just rang me saying he thought it was Friday. So, yeah, that's why he's leaving now, because obviously he's off tomorrow and Monday, it being the Easter bank holiday. He thought it was Friday. So, yeah, get him into the session, he says, and as long as he's in, loaded up, even if he misses quali, he's then in, like, do you know what I mean? Alright, pal, invites have just gone out as well, bud. Alright. See you in a bit.
No, my mic was on mute. Okay, I'm back. Hey, he's back. He's back. I was about to go. Yeah, that.
Liam, you can't qualify for race 1.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
What about race 2?
Reverse grid. So if
Yeah.
if the championship's still on, no.
Okay.
Pretty much just take Gary out and then you can qualify.
Okay. So I can't qualify, but I can race.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Who's not racing tonight then?
Mazda's not well.
Okay.
Been sent home from work. He's been in bed most of the day, Abby said, so.
I've just had a message from Dean saying it's Friday again.
Because it's fucking off, probably. Because he'll be off now, not if bank holiday weekend.
Yeah, I keep thinking it's Friday today.
It's fucking boiling.
Wrong race it, Jamie, if it were Friday, mate.
You tried any setups for F1?
I had a bit of a go on the pad. I'll have a proper go later.
Yeah, so the setup I was using was Dan's.
I'll be on most of the day tomorrow, to be fair. Green Pies is about half a second quicker. Yeah, well, like I say, I'll have a play with yours. I'll have a play with Green Pies tomorrow, wheel properly, and then I'll see what happens. Right, I'm going to jump in the other party, so best luck, Liam. Don't forget, don't qualify and stay out of Jamie and Gary's way. Cheers, bud. See you later. Just quickly, actually, anybody on after for some laps? Just going to do some of next season's cars for if they wanted to test another car or not. Alright. Just gonna do some of next season's calendar, put them on, let you test the cars that you want to test or something. Alright, see you in a bit.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me, Matt?
I'm here, Kelly, sorry. Just taking some quick
Okay.
out. Evening.
How you doing, mate? Alright?
I'm very well, thank you. Are you?
Yeah, good, man. Yeah.
Good. Did you manage to get your footage in from Sunday?
Daniel's dealing with it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, he done it again on bloody in Clio's. It took about 3 people out in Clio's. He did, including G.
Smokey.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He's got a reputation for it, you know.
Yeah, I've heard that. Whereas when I've seen him on ours, he doesn't seem to race as bad. And I put it to Andy the other year, last season when they ran the GT5s. I said some driving standards are terrible, but
yeah,
it says damage on is a different ball game. People drive a bit cleaner and with a bit more respect.
Absolutely.
Is that something
absolutely.
you want to do? And it was like, nah, not really. People will be in pits all the time, and I just think, well, you're making a rod for your own back, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Smokey has managed to hit me every single round,
Brilliant.
and I had a cracking start at Silverstone Classic. I went from the back to 5th in
nice.
the first 3 corners, you
Yeah.
know, and then he managed to he hit me once in lap 1,
Yeah.
right, and then hit me again in lap 5, you know. So
Yeah, there's
and
times
spun
there's
me
times when
round.
you kind of, I had a season once where I kept hitting Sooty and it was like, oh fucking hell, it's Sooty again. At times you're like,
yeah,
contact was inevitable, but
yeah.
yeah.
It's like, I mean, he come up behind me. I mean, he's got more pace than I have, you know, but he makes more mistakes than I do, right? And he come up behind me, and I can see him behind me, and then just as I go in the corner,
Yeah.
The first one I defended, came across a little bit, and he just kept going. He just didn't stop.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And just ploughed into the back of me. The second one, I was halfway round the corner, and he ploughed into the back of me and just ruined my race. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as I said, I mean, I said it against Daniel when I wasn't quite so angry about it. I'm not even, I just want someone to have a word with the guy and say, look, you can't keep smashing into people. You know, you're wrecking people's races.
Which is what I mean. I've not seen that. From, like when Dan said the other day about, he's got quite a habit for it, and it's like, has he? I've not seen that on a Wednesday night. He's always seemed to race nicely and clean, you know, and.
Your pro-ams don't have damage on, do they?
Yeah, both leagues have damage on.
Do they? Oh, well,
yeah, both leagues have damage. And this is why I said to Andy when I raced Motives GT5s, and you got tapped, and I'm not gonna lie, Fury were a bit. Every time I've raced Motive, Fury's been a bit of a hindrance to me at times, and it's like, but I see Fury race different on this channel, and I don't know if that's because damage is on, and he doesn't go for as silly a move as he may do on Motive, and at times I just think
maybe. Yeah.
The last league we raced in called THR was just a touring car league where they rang the GT5s, the Clios, GT4s, Porsches and touring cars all in one night.
Right.
So it's like 6 different short races around, say, Brands or Donington. Yeah. And, D Biggs and a few others was quite dirty drivers, quite aggressive because damage were off. D Biggs on this with damage on is a lot better, is a lot cleaner, and I think you put that damage on and people sort of sit there and are like, all right, I've just got to watch me centre night. Yeah,
because you can't afford that damage. It's game
exactly.
over, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that is the answer. I don't know, but he has got a bit of a rep for it. And as I said, I don't particularly want to pick on the guy. And it's like
you want to enjoy your races as well. And when it seems constantly seems to be one person.
You and I have this, have an insight. We're watching these people week in and week out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you get a feel for who. We've talked about. We're polite on the stream. We're supposed to be impartial and polite, aren't we? But we know Fury's quick. He is quick, but he's young and he makes stupid mistakes. And Gary makes silly mistakes as well. And, say we watch him week in and week out, don't we? And Sooty can be a bit leery at times, and so on and so forth. Do you know what I mean? And you get to know what people's habits are, don't you? But it's. I haven't said anything on air about it. Do you know what I mean? It's
because obviously you've got to still remain
impartial
to be a bit of a professional job. Like Sunday, I could tell you was very annoyed, which is why I kind of started the stream. Do you know what I mean? I thought, I could tell you was a bit peeved with it, so I thought, right, well, I'll start the stream and stuff. Kelly, it's hard as well to go straight from it ending straight into the com box and be very impartial and not have to and not be like, this is that, but when people don't fucking behave and you just want to say something at the time, but you can't.
Yeah, you want to have a rant. You want to have, and I've worked in entertainment since I was 16 years old, so I know when to put a professional face on. Do you know what I mean? And whatever. But I wanted to rant. But I was properly angry about it Sunday night. Because as I said, my race was, I had a cracking good start. I'm not the best qualifier, but I'm a little bit better at being consistent.
Yeah. So I'm the same.
With such a good start, I had a chance. Yeah, maybe I wouldn't have stayed in 5th. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I would drop down 7th,
but you've
8th.
had a battle.
I had that chance,
you've had a good fight. Yeah, that's it. It's one of them.
But it is. Yeah. Hopefully, someone will have a word with him. As I say, I don't want to down on the guy, and I don't want to, make drama for him because I want everyone to enjoy themselves. But it needs to wind it in a bit. But there you go.
No, exactly. No, I get where you're coming from. I've had one rant one time, and that was I'd finished with this THR, and I'd in this THR. This was at the time when everybody was leaving next season, and we was like, right, the plan is the sim play was already being sort of worked on at the time.
Yeah.
So sim play was already in the pipeline, and then what's up? I just wanted. Right, yeah, what's up? Fine. So when Tito done, I literally sat there, and I won a race and I got brought in for an interview, and literally he says, "What's your plans now going forward?" Now I says, "Well," and I kind of I was wound up, so I kind of went on a rant and I went, "Yeah, fuck this league's down shit here, blah blah blah, this that the other," because to be fair, mate, the league owner had set it all up, and season 1 he wasn't bad. Season 2 he left it all for me and Kieran Argent to run. And but we wasn't allowed to post anything on Facebook. We had to do it through him, and it was like, fuck this, mate. It was like a dictatorship more than just an admin group being an admin group. I'd set up the YouTube channel. I said I don't mind commentating and streaming for you on the Wednesday night, and then someone else can do it on the Thursday while I'm racing, and blah blah blah. Get your league out there a bit more. And I was just like, come end of season, I just had enough of him and the league, and I thought, right, blah, this, that, the other, fuck off, Simplay all the way, see you in a bit, bang, left the party, left the interview, went, and the commentator was like, all right, well, on that note, see you next season. A third season never happened, he ditched it, he never did a third season, this bloke, because everybody that's pretty much at Simplay, if they're not Motive or if they've not been picked up here or there, like Gary and Sutton, everybody pretty much came from this THR, so we was, halfway through the season, I says, don't worry lads, I'm making my own league, it's going to be GT based with other things to come in the future, and this is what's going to happen, sort of thing. So and
the rest is history.
A few things to look out for tonight. Keegs has got a ban on his account,
right,
so he is racing under the name of Lucas Roth P1, which is an account he made today.
Okay,
so that is Keegs. Liam is in, which is that Bozzy boy. He got promoted to the pro group last night in the Pro-Am. Mazda is ill and unable to attend tonight, so he is basically... It's a learning sort of session for him tonight. He's
so
here
he's
to
taking
learn.
Mazda's place?
He's filling Mazda's spot, but testing in a car for next season sort of thing that he wants to try. He's been warned, obviously, stay out of the guys' way, let them race. Especially Jamie and Gary. 5 points between them. They're the ones up for the title. So they're the two bits really that we're looking at. Who are we missing from the session? We are missing D Biggs, who I know might be running late, and just looking else, Phil. D Biggs and Phil. Right, let me just text Graham, or Sutius I should say. It's Phil online actually.
So this being the last race of the season, when are you picking up? What will it be? Season 4 for you?
Season 3.
Season 3. When's that? When's that kick off?
We've got an admin chat on Saturday night, little video call to sort out some rules and regs and sort out some other bits and bobs and dates for when the season's probably be beginning of May time.
Right. Okay.
Beginning sort of middle of May. So a good month off sort of thing. To do like the 24-hour and some other events we're going to do as well, and go from there sort of thing. But all the dates will sort of hopefully be revealed this weekend. Right, I'm just waiting for them. 2 D Biggs, and I was running a little late. Phil,
because you've already done the track, haven't you? You've already done
tracks
the track.
have already been announced. I wanted to get the tracks announced before the dates released, so that if people want to test a new car for next year, they know what tracks they need to test on. But obviously the dates are going to be spring, summer months, so it shouldn't be too bad. Right, I'm going to start in a minute.
Okay.
Because I don't know where Phil is. Just quickly before it... Is he online? He's online. He's on Project Cars 2. He's on single player. On track. Message him. I had a terrible time last night. The servers went down again.
Oh god. Well, PlayStation Network.
No, Project Cars glitched.
Oh right. Okay.
Someone's connection had lagged, so he'd lagged out the server.
Yeah.
And it then kicked about 4 other people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was like brilliant.
Is it?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fucking horrible one. So we had to restart, take 8 laps off, and go again. And it was like we had to do a motive formation lap because our lads had never done it. We had to get them all into one chat to be like, right, this is what I want doing. This is the order you're going to line up on. One formation lap, leader will take you away, go, sort of thing. So yeah.
Yeah. Nightmare.
Right, just going to start now because I don't know where he is. He's got 20 minutes to get in. So has D Biggs. Tuning in for the last 2 races of the pro season from Rapuna Park in New Zealand, where I'm going for back-to-back titles with a 5-point lead. Don't forget to comment on the stream. We've already wrapped up the Constructors title for Leach Motorsport. Good results all season for myself and teammate Craig Leach. Fucking hell, Gary.
What was that? Was that Gary put that?
Gary, yeah, they've already wrapped up the Constructors last week.
Alright, yeah.
I didn't think much to the Silverstone Classic races on Sunday. I don't know what it was.
No, it's a bit there.
Yeah. Right, and gonna go live. Good evening then, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the season finale here at Rapuna Park in New Zealand. We are still across the waters in the Oceania region, I do believe. We are here for the finale tonight. Big season we've had. What a season we've had. Congrats to all the drivers who's taken part. Pro and Pro-Am season not done though. 5 points is the gap difference tonight between the top 2, Gary 131 and Big Boy Brazier. It could not be closer. Well, it could be. They could be tied, I suppose, but you get what I mean. I'm Matthew Duffin. I'm in the commentary box, as always, by my co-commentator and good friend Kelly. Kelly, how are you tonight, and are you looking forward to this one?
Oh, yes, I'm very well, Matt, and yes, I am looking forward to this one. Season finale with the championship on the line. What's not to love? The fantastic New Zealand. Interesting fact, if all things had been equal and we didn't have a global pandemic, I would be in New Zealand right now.
Oh, right.
Yeah, as my other half comes from New Zealand, and we would have been going back there. We would plan to go back to New Zealand, or she was going back, and I would have been going for the first time. So this is as close as we're going to get, I feel, but chuffed to be here.
Indeed we are. We may just have to postpone the session 2 seconds because 2 of the drivers haven't received their invites. Their invites haven't came through. That is why 2 of them aren't here. So we may, I'm just going to quickly pop to a break screen and try and get them in to this one, otherwise we may have to restart. So just please stay, keep watching. We'll be back in 2 seconds. Oh, you always get a fucking problem. I cannot believe it. Every night. Every night.
Yeah. Who's not in?
Phil. He just texted me saying,
Phil
yeah, Phil and D Big's not got an invite, they've just said. You can't make it up. Online championships. That. Edit. He's in, isn't he? Driver roster. Yeah, he's there. Right, save. So if I join back, ignore the invite you're going to get.
Yeah.
Because you'll probably get another one.
Yeah.
Now it says synchronising, it's not letting me in. Right, I'm in. One now. Oh, every flipping night. Let me know if it says Phil N_87 joins, because I think you'll be able to see it. I'm not sure.
24.5, not quick enough, Dan. I was going faster. Oh, 122.1.
Yeah, I reckon you're looking 120s for a lap time around here.
I did, which is beginning to be my habit is I put a few laps in before.
Yeah.
On the pad, and just quickly while I'm waiting to get going. And I was doing early 123s, but a couple of only a few minutes. Kind of just I did about 10 laps, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Emo's done 119.
119, Jamie 119.
So Jamie,
I got an 18.7 the other day, and I know Jamie's been in the 18s as well.
Yeah.
So
quite an easy track to run wide on a lot of corners.
A lot of patient on a lot of corners as well.
Yeah,
you gotta be.
Absolutely.
Oh, come on. Phil, just text me back. Let me just phone him quickly, see if he's got it. Alright, mate, you got one?
Yeah, I'm on, mate. I didn't get an invitation, but I had to. I just had to look for joining other sessions, but I'm in anyway.
Are you in now? Right, okay, no worries then, mate.
Yeah, I can see him there now.
Yep, sweet.
Dan's gone quickest, 19.3.
Yeah, I've just been kicked from session. Oh, you cannot make this shit up. Hopefully I'm fucking joining. Kicked me again. This game's getting worse, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Well, so there should be 15 drivers, I do believe now then.
Yeah, we got 15 on.
Right.
Yeah, on the list.
Right, okay. I'm coming in now.
Right.
Just loading up, 62%.
You have to put your finger out, Gary. Going too slow.
Right, we're about live. Welcome back. Apologies about that one. We was people wasn't receiving the invitations, and then I got kicked from the session, so it took a little longer than expected. But we're back now. 30 minutes 14 remaining on the clock. Big Boy Brazy is currently your provisional pole man, whereas these championship rivals P8 1 second off of the pole time, but it's not a lot in it. And Kelly, we was talking off air about how patient you've got to be through some of these corners.
Yeah.
These drivers tonight are going to experience a lot of that as they go through this track.
Absolutely, and we'll do a hot lap a bit later on in this session. But yeah, this one very, very easy to run wide on a couple of corners. A couple of corners will just will sneak up and just catch you out time and time again. So there is a bit of patience to be done on this Rapuna Park circuit. Got lots of information about this one this evening here in Christchurch, New Zealand, and. Yeah, lots to talk about this evening. Of course, we've got a championship battle, and at the moment, Jamie is your fastest man in the 119s. We're expecting to be into the 118s by the end of this session, are we not, Matt?
That's what I've seen a few people doing testing, yes, and we're nearly there now, to be fair.
Absolutely, and like I do on a Thursday night, I went out a couple of laps round before we started, did about 10 laps round on the pad. Didn't get anywhere near these times, to be fair. I was a couple of 2 or 3 seconds off the pace of this, but yeah, a bit of a handful out there. I took the GT3 Porsche out, same as Fury, Gary, Little Leach, Dan are all driving, and yeah, a bit of a handful. A couple of places where quite easy to lose it, and yeah, as I said, very easy to go to run wide, as we see Peaceful having a bit of an excursion onto the grass.
Peaceful up into P2 in the qualifying as well, Kelly, with his teammate there who's just passed him. His stand-in teammate tonight for the Constructors' Points, Monkey. A few races in the back end of this Pro Series. Obviously the Pro-Am champion, who you'll see on the Pro Grid again next season, is currently P3, so good to see him getting some laps in under his belt in the with the Pro guys and setting the pace as well. We've got that Buzzy Boy, aka Liam Gamer, who finished P3 in the Drivers' Championship last night and got promoted for that final promotion spot up into the Pro Group. He's here. No Mazda tonight, unwell, under the weather, so we hope it's not the dreaded Big C, and we wish him a speedy recovery if it is that either way. But that Bozzy Boy and Philly Seaton to try his hand against the Pro. He's not being able to qualify due to the fact that there is a championship battle going on. Welchie running a bit late. He's in the session because Keegs, his son, has been able to get him in, but he's not being able to set a time yet. This man, Sutty Apex, wheel or pad, I'm not sure. He said he was setting it up before I came on air, but he sits P7th. If so, that's not a bad time, a 1:19.9. Gary's moved up to P4. So a cracking start for Gary. Now, a lot of these drivers, Kelly, tonight, they're not really in a fight in this championship. They've not got any battles, really. There's a bit of a battle for third between Emo Guy and D Biggs. Sutty's in a battle for fifth with himself and Little Eats. And you've got Dan, Peaceful and Andy in a battle for that 7th, 8th, 9th spot. Nobody else really battling on the track in terms of battles. Do you race your race as normal, or are you wary of Gary and Jamie around you?
Well, there's a good question. I think you've got to run your race and race with the same respect as normal, isn't it? I mean, if I was, I don't know, if I was certainly as a backmarker, I'd be jumping out of the way quick, smart. But you'd expect everybody to anyway. Yeah. As we see Gary having a bit of a spin. He's had enough of that one, so he's as we just be peaceful, having a bit of a spin as well. Anybody can keep it in a straight line. Come on, Jamie, you can keep it in a straight line for me.
Oh, he knows
it's you give it respect, don't you? Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be if Gary came up behind me and he was or Jamie came up behind me and they were much faster, then I'd let them go. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to get involved in being the catalyst for a ruined championship. Do you know what I mean? So, what are your thoughts on that, Matt?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same as you, to be fair, Kelly. I want to run my own race and try and get the win if I can, but if they come up behind me and they're a lot quicker, I'm not going to be the one that at the end of the day you got in my way and cost me the championship. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to, let them through. He is a man on form on screen on Orthodubs. What form he's been in since going back to the... really has been exquisite in that car. He's drove it to perfection, especially in the wet weather. Dan has been he's been a man on another level when it rains in that Porsche. And what can Dan do tonight? No rain in the forecast, so we'll have to keep our eyes out on that one though. But at the minute, Dan is the man on form and the man to beat. I know you want to beat the championship leader, but if there's any form counts for something, and Dan is the man on form, and that is why he's climbed. He's just been pelted. Fury has just sent him miles, and he'll have to return to the pit with that one. But in fact, they both do. Both looking quite similar with them crushed up front bumpers. That's why Dan's gone from by the bottom of the standings all the way up into that top 10. His form this second half this evening has been fantastic. Evening to Liam Gamer in the chat, or that Bozzy Boy. Rabbit Joe in the chat, the only G's here, nice to see him. Daniel Francis, Dean Wusocki, Kelly yourself, Becca in the chat, and Fury's granddad as well. Evening everyone, good luck everyone on Fury, he says. Dan, G just said, remember Dan, fuel.
Yeah, he's on a wind-up. He seems to be on a wind-up with Dan. Going back to Dan's race last week when we were over in Australia at Bathurst. What a cracking lap towards the end. Did a 2:13 in the wet. It's and we saw it on his replay. He posted it up on Facebook. What a lap! What a just epic, so certainly Dan's certainly the rainmeister for this season, but in the dry, is he going to do so well? To say that, the top 8 is only covered by less than a second, so I was going to say he isn't doing so great. Dan is 7th, but to be fair, he's only 6/10 off the ultimate lap, so
very close to that front row with the grid as well. He's not a million miles away. His emo guys put it on the front row as well. Ignore the Lucas Roth name tonight. That's just Keegs. He's got his normal account banned, but he's racing on a Lucas Roth account tonight.
How did he get banned?
I don't know. Apparently he was messaging somebody he was playing online with, and a few expletives we've said that I won't repeat, and he reported him and he got banned for 30 days. So the Iron Brew Racing A-lads have both had a ban this season of 30 days on their normal accounts, because Big Boy Brazier had one earlier in the season, if you remember rightly. But ignore the Lucas Roth. If you are a follower of Simplay or on with us regular on the headset, Lucas Roth is a AI character on the Formula 1 game. in which when you race your multiplayer cars or the historic cars, Lucas Roth is just a made-up character. He's not a real person. Gary lost on F1 to Lucas Roth, the AI character, once, and Keeg since then created a PlayStation account. And if you read the PlayStation account bio of Lucas Roth, it says, I beat Gary round Singapore on F1 2020 or something. So Keegs has decided to race on that account tonight. And I presume if he beats Gary, there'll be another thing added to the bio. Gary's dropped to P5 since Emo Guy's gone up to second. Phil, we've got in, luckily enough. He didn't have his invite and was struggling to get in, but we've got him in now. So let's see what Phil can do around this circuit.
Yes, let's if I can find me, here we go, bumper car. So turn 1, this one, double apex, ignore the first apex, start braking. This is, you can run a bit wide on this turn. Oh, as Phil drops it. Never mind.
Don't they always?
Don't they? As soon as I start talking about it, yeah, they usually drop it. Where's Gary? Gary's just starting the first turn. There we go. Ignore the first part of the turn. Tuck it into the apex. You can run wide here, not that wide. Gary having a lot of grass there. This one, drop a couple of gears, touch the brake, hit the apex, nail it on the exit, a little bit of runoff. Probably the best overtaking opportunity is now. This is the tightest of the hairpins. Don't run wide on the outside, almost like that. A couple of little blips through a right and a left. This is a tricky one. Brake. The exit comes up on you real quick and then goes straight into a left-hander, so puts you on the wrong side of the track, so you need to try and tuck it in. This one, this is a bit of a hurry up and wait. On the entry, you're waiting, then you can nail it as the exit opens up. Here's one of those ones that's about which you can run wide. Try and tuck to the apex, try not to run out on the left-hand side. This one gets me every time. This easy one to run wide out onto the grass there. Flat scat now down to the final hairpin. 11 turns on this track. Another hurry up and wait one. You're waiting to put the power down. When's it straight? There it is. Go. Hit the power. Run out slightly wide and across the line if you're lucky in a 119 or better.
Indeed. Kind of 3 parts to this circuit, Kelly. The first sector, flat scat down the start straight. You've got a turn 1 which Gary's just messed up and goes sideways around there. Yep. And then you kind of get, after turn 2 in the hairpin, when the first sector kind of ends, the middle sector is so tight and twisty that as much as you want good top end speed on your aero and your setup, you also want a good car that's going to handle in the middle section of this track. And then again you get back to final sector, bar that final corner, it's quite a quick end to the lap. So it's a mixture of 2 parts, this circuit.
Absolutely, and you're quite right. And this first corner is so tricky. We're seeing some of the Porsche guys lose it. When you come down here, as I say, the first part of the corner is your braking zone is unsighted. So you go flat into that first part of the corner and then start braking. Now, if you are off camber, slightly skew, and then start braking, the back end's going to try and step out. And that's why we're seeing some of the guys lose it on that second part of the first turn, if you see what I mean.
Yeah. Gary still in the pits, as is Deeks. They have 2 minutes 53 seconds left in this qualifying session. Here is the man second place in the championship at the moment, Big Boy Brazier, who leads this qualifying session. Provisional pole for himself at the moment. And guys in the chat, 18 of you watching 7 Lights, hit that thumbs up button, but also get your predictions in. Who's going to win the title, Big Boy Brazier or Gary131? Get your predictions in. Ian Thompson in the chat, good luck everyone with the racing tonight. Fingers crossed there is no repeat of last night's internet issues. Oh indeed, terrible problem last night. Mass disconnection halfway through, just about a quarter of the way through, the final race of that season, in which, if you missed last night's Pro-Am, what a final race. Kieran Argent won round 21. Liam Gamer, or that Bozzy Boy as he's changed his PSN to now, needed to get 10 points or more to get that promotion spot, and then Kieran disconnected from the session and then disconnected from the restart, and it was like, oh, Liam's now got to get 6th or better to do it. And then Liam's wheel had disconnected when he was 20 seconds in the lead. He then ended up 30 seconds behind after his pit stop because everybody else had pitted, and somehow he managed to get the job done. It was a chaotic race too, and a lot of screaming was had that night, I tell you now. But what dramas? Let's see if we get the dramas tonight in this championship. Fourth and P1 at the moment are the two championship protagonists, Gary and Big Boy Brazy, as Peaceful's dropped to 5th, as Gary has gone up to P4. Just looking down the order, top 8 covered by 9/10 of a second. Then you've got a bit of a drop off to Fury and Little Each and Phil, and then again a couple of attempts down to Deeks, Keegs and Welshie, with that Bozzy Boy not being allowed to qualify. It's going to be interesting tonight. Who's your money on for the two races, but ultimately as well, Kelly, who's your money on for the title?
Oh, God, you're asking the questions, aren't you? I think it's hard to say. I mean, any one of the guys at the sharp end. Ian, Emo Guy, always got form. We had a win from Peaceful, which was nice to see. My money's, I'm going to have to say Jamie for doing well and the title tonight.
Right, okay.
But either one are deserving. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Either one. Yeah. I mean, Gary's more than deserving of the title, and I guess we'll see. I think there's going to be chaos into turn 1. That's my feeling.
Yeah, I have a feeling. I have the same sort of feeling. Oh, gee. Yeah. Just on the curve, not where you want to be. Monkey Boy in the pits as his Peaceful Explosion, so they will not get another stab at this one, as is Emo Guy, so no pole position for him. Person with the most poles this season is Andy, 5 pole positions to his name. Gary has 4. Jamie only has, Big Boy Brazy only has 2 to his name, so this could be his 3rd of the season. But, I mean, there's not a lot of time between the top 9 now, as Fury's got himself within a second, within 9 taps. Gary's done and hasn't improved, so he will start P4 crucially. This man, Jamie's provisional pole. Yeah, where's Dan on the track? I think Dan, just behind Jamie, so getting the benefit of a bit of slipstream here. Could Dan be the one to take pole position away from Big Boy Brazier, but ultimately knock that Gary down to P5 as well? Big Boy Brazier's called it a day, so he's not going to improve. Oh, Dan, that's not where you want to be.
Right out there.
That's that gone. That's that one gone. So there's only Andy left, really. He's about to cross the start-finish line, a bit wide out the exit of turn 1. What's he going to do? Is he going to improve? Needs to find 4/10. He improves and goes second.
He goes second.
He nearly did it in the end. He's not Gary down to P5. He's not got that ultimate pace. Dan, we saw at the mistake. There's Little Each coming across the line in the background as well. He was a bit too far back to make up the ground. But Big Boy Brazy then, upper hand to him, takes the first pole of the night. And that is advantage Big Boy Brazier on the night. 5 points he's got to claw back. At the moment, he's provisional. He is pole position. Andy P2 with Emo Guy in 3rd. Class of 97 have had some cracking races this year. I've heard that they want on about changing car for next season. If they do that, they could be a real force next season. Monkey Boy, good P4 from the Pro-Am champion, who's making the step up to the Pro Group next year. P4, so what a qualifying for him. Gary 131 down in 5th with Peaceful 6th, Unorthodox 7th, Sooty Apex is 8th with Fury 9th. Little Each will round out the top 10. Phil 11th, Deeks 12th, Lucas Roth aka Keegs P13, Welshie down in 14th place, and that Bozzy Boy 15th. Someone else has the continue button. I don't decide to leave the lobby to get Phil back in, so someone else will have the continue.
I've got continue to race.
There you go then. Yep, that you're the one who's So press that and we'll be ready to go. Here we go.
There we go.
So we're just waiting for the drivers now to sync up.
While they're just syncing up, do you want some facts about Rapuna Park?
Give us some facts. Let's hit it.
Yeah, it's actually Mike Perro Motorsport Park is actually the name of the venue. Mike Perro is the sponsor, and it's basically a big real estate company in mortgages and real estates in New Zealand. Rapuna Park's a grade 3. We're actually pronouncing it wrong. It would be Ruapuna Park is yes, my Kiwi girlfriend tells me.
Right.
As I said, it's a grade 3, FIA grade 3. Came more internationally popular thanks to Project Cars. Gave the whole place a international's perspective when it got added to the game in the original game in 2015, and really boosted this venue, being one of the only New Zealand tracks that has ever been digitalised for a game of any description. So, shot to fame thanks to Project Cars. What else have we got? Lap record: Scott Dixon in 1998 in a Reynard 92D with a 1:15.8 around here.
So we're not a million miles away.
No, not a million miles away. I don't know what a Reynard 92D is, but it's probably a single-seater, I would have thought. But yeah, just about 13 miles outside of Christchurch, and the land is still owned by Christchurch City Council, which it's the Canterbury Car Club that actually own the venue or own the rights. So there you go. Some interesting facts.
There we go.
Buddha Park.
Interesting. We're not a million miles away from the lap record. Then Scott Dixon, well known for his IndyCar, I do believe it is. But we're lights out here now, and Jamie Brazier looks to take the championship to Gary. We're green at Ruapuna, as I'm now told it is. And what a start for him. Andy, Monkey Boy, and Emo Guy all getting a good start here. And as we head down towards turn 1, what carnage is there going to be in this race so far? Gary looks like he's up the inside of Monkey Boy, a bit of pushing and shoving. And Monkey Boy's round. Gary looks like he's going to try and get the position on Andy, and he does so. So a good start from the championship leader, 5th to 3rd within 2 corners, but we know he's got a mistake in him. Keeping out for that Bentley of Lap Bozzy Boy at the back. I want to see his progression tonight, who's making the step up to the pro next season, but the championship battle's the one we've got to watch, and Gary looking racy on the back of Emo Guy here already. Great start for Dan from 7th as well. He's up into P4, and Kelly all through relatively easy and clean here.
Yeah. Absolutely. Those guys on the stream who are listening to us, ignore everything that I say. It's complete rubbish. Because I was expecting some carnage in turn 1. We didn't get that. Everyone was clean and respectful. The only person I think went round was Monkey Boy, but he seems to still be in the hunt in this. So good start from Jamie. Emo Guy went up. Gary's in the fight. Dan and Andy right in there, all the usual suspects. I think Andy had a bit of a wiggle out the corner there and managed to scoop it all up. So good start. Jamie just starting to gap Ian a little bit now. Gary's going to be keen to get past Emo Guy as fast as he can and get onto the back of Jamie. We could be game on here, Matt.
We could be indeed, and Gary is looking really racy tonight. He's feeling confident. I know that. I was speaking to him on the chat earlier today. Sutty's in the pits. Can we just go to Sutty? So I wonder what damage he's got, because that's an early pit stop for lap 1. Pit window is lap 8, so very early pit stop for Sutty Apex. Can't really tell the damage from that view. We'll have to keep an eye on how long his pit stop is, because that's a very, very early pit stop for Sutty Apex. Oh, there is a bit of damage on that car as D-Biggs has just joined, and Sutty gets away now. So not the longest of pit stop there. But back to the battle at the front, and on Orthodox end, Haas in the back of Gary. Gary's not yet managed to get past Emo Guy. That gap 0.6 of a second. Gary a bit deep, and Dan having a little look up the inside there. Didn't want to make the move as he knew the door wasn't fully open. But at the minute, Jamie, doing the job he needs to do. Emo Guy just on the grass a little bit there. But I tell you what a start to this race. Oh, Dan very wide out the exit corner. And that's the corner you said it's easy to go wide on there.
Like father, like son, that one. That's the kind of line I take. When we go round there, really easy to it invites you in that corner but spits you out the other side, you know. It really does. It's you think you can take it quicker than what you actually can. It's one of them kind of corners. As Gary then in towards turn 1. Jamie has an 8/10 lead. Emo Guy with a huge lock up there, and that'll be interesting to Gary. Jamie though doing what he needs to so far. He's already in the 1:19s on his race pace. One thing I found out here though through the week when I was testing, did a few race runs, the hard tyre doesn't work. It doesn't get warm enough for the hard tyre, but ultimately as well the soft tyre burns up too quickly as Gary gets so close to the back of Ian under the brakes. And Gary just made a little mistake. He's had a bit of a wiggle. We didn't see if he got a tap. It didn't look like he had a tap, but he's lost one place to Dan. And Gary at the minute just pushing maybe a little too hard. And we've said this all season, haven't we, Kelly, that Gary's capable at times of pushing too hard and making too many mistakes. As that Bozzy Boy pits and Sutty flies past him. Sutty's pit stop and that Bozzy Boy's pit stop are now done. But I found out in the week when I was doing a bit of testing that the soft tyre goes off after a while, but the hard tyre never really works. So it's going to be interesting to see what these guys' pit strategies are later in this race. Absolutely, and that mistake that Gary made again, when I was trying it out, I did exactly the same. Too much acceleration out of the tightest of the 3 hairpins, and the back end just wants to step out. And that's what I mean. He obviously came off the throttle, so he didn't go all the way round enough to catch it. But of course, that cost him a place. So he's got that much more to do. Emo Guy, somebody gets out of the way there. Emo Guy certainly keeping Jamie honest. In fact, they're all keeping Jamie honest. Because he's only half a second in front, hasn't been able to break away from this group, and pretty much top 5 here. Gary under pressure now from Andy. So Gary's struggling a little bit just to get back into that groove.
He's just got to get in that rhythm again, hasn't he?
Yeah, got to get back on the back of Dan. And we've lost D-Biggs.
No, D-Biggs didn't. D-Biggs wasn't in the race. He obviously didn't get in straight away, so he might be off to get a bit of last-minute bit of testing in before the second race, which is a shame. Obviously, he did say he was running late. Obviously didn't get in just in time. But at the moment then, Gary P4, Andy P5 here. Not the start for Peaceful Explosion. Was up there in qualifying. He's dropped down to P11 here. So he's struggling in this race. And that Mercedes clearly not looking the most comfortable as Ian, Emo Guy, very wide out that corner again. Another one wide. Dan now hassling the back of Emo Guy. I can just tell you, as it stands at the moment, Jamie scoring 25 points. Gary only scoring 13. So it's not the points he wants. That'll be a 12-point switch in favour of Jamie Brazier. Obviously take the 5 off that Gary leads by, so it'll be more like 7 points. The gap as unorthodox here, looking up the inside of Emo Guy into turn 1, and I think if there's any man who's going to challenge Jamie Brazier at the minute, it's this man Dan. Dan the man on a mission here, and he's still side by side with Emo Guy, squeezing him towards the grass, and Dan gets that move done now, and his pace is looking formidable here, and if he wants to catch Jamie, he's got to get that hurry up, but Emo Guy's going to come and have a look at him up the inside. You said the overtaking move to watch in this race. Can Dan get the cutback? No, he can't. Emo Guy gets it parked on the apex, and I tell you what, that's a Plato-esque move, that parking it on the apex. Plato is so good at that, just getting it stopped in so that the car behind's got to go even slower, and then you can power out the corner and pull a bit away. Yeah, and you've got track position. Yeah, absolutely. When I used to BMX race, I used to do exactly the same move. just hold somebody up, and then you've got track position. But yes, absolutely. That was a nice tussle between those two. Dan had it done clean, but Ian come back at him clean. Nice little tussle that. Hopefully this will be a nice little battle as you see that Porsche come off the curb there. Yeah, just seeing Dan and Emo Guy, they're sort of taking it in turns to run wide at that corner. Every single lap someone's running wide. Emo Guy's gone a bit deep there, and I thought Dan was having a look, but he doesn't in the end. Big Boy Brazy now has a lead of 1.3 seconds. He's doing what he needs to do. He's not putting in stellar laps, but he's putting in laps that he needs to keep that gap in front. He doesn't need to push and ruin his race here. But Dan at the moment is looking the feistiest of this front 5. Gary, I'd noticed, had just started to pull away from Andy a little bit and try and get on the back of Dan while him and Emo Guy was battling. As Dan here, look at how close he's getting to the back of that Lamborghini. And the Porsche.
I wonder if Dan is thinking, right.
Oh, here he goes.
Turn 1. Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Great move. Has he got it done? Oh, he's not yet. No, they're still side by side here. No. It was a late lunge up the inside, and Emo Guy saw him coming, gave him the room, and Emo Guy gets that place back. Yeah, Gary right on the hot on the heels now, and he's not going to want to hang around. He's going to want to get to Jamie as quick as he can.
Absolutely, and I was just going to say, as Daniel put that move on, it's a bit like Formula 1 at Canada. If you do it down the long straight, then you'll get done over the start-finish straight. And Daniel may be thinking if he does Ian in turn 1 that he's always going to get him in the hairpin. So we'll see if he has another crack at that, or how that moves on. But they've now got Gary to worry about as well. And of course, Gary's in this for the championship. These guys will be aware of this. They don't want to ruin his race, but these guys are racing for podium positions here.
A bit wide out that final corner was Gary there, as Dan here, and like you say, podium positions. Emo Guy and Dan on form on the podiums, and he's looking up the inside into turn 1. A bit later on the brakes was Emo Guy, but he's gone deep. He's run way too deep, and is this going to allow Gary to have a look? No, it's not. But Dan now has that bit more breathing space behind him, to Emo Guy behind him, and this means that Dan at the moment. Yeah, he's able to get this done. And is Ian going to look for a late lunge? No, he's not. They're about to come up and lap Keegs, who has made a pit stop as well. Keegs getting onto the grass and sensibly keeps well off the line. So that's nice to see there. As at the moment, these 3 for second, third and fourth. Andy's not quite on the back of them, and Jamie's just pulling away ever so slightly. It's a cracking battle, this, at the moment.
Jamie doing exactly what he needs to do out front, not being Larry, just running his own race. Jamie, the 4 guys behind you are battling, you know what I mean? So you've got, you know what I mean, he's got a bit of breathing space. Dan will now have his sights set on that first place, of course. But Emo Guy won't be letting Dan go. He won't be thinking that that's job done. He'll be thinking how he's going to get back round Daniel. So, still all to play for here. These guys second down to fifth, basically, all fighting for those podium positions. And we're not half distance yet, so we've still got a way to go. So who else is on track? Let's have a look. Monkey Boy is close on the back of Phil.
Yeah, if that's for P7 and 8. They've got Little Leach as well, just in front of these two. There's Little Leach then, Gary's teammate, and two-time Constructors champion after last week. Leach Motorsport wrapped up the Constructors title. So, but P6 and P4 at the minute, good points again for them guys. Phil a bit wide out that corner, and Monkey Boy has to avoid. He's got a bit of lag, does Phil, looks like.
Yeah, got a bit of lagging going on. Yeah.
Who else we got? We've got Fury and Peaceful as well.
Yeah. Yes, you're quite right. Fury and Peaceful in close company. Fury doing really well this evening. I only say that because his car's in one piece and he hasn't managed to
not lost a wheel like at Indianapolis.
Yeah, we've had one front bumper. Yeah, that was great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You need to do a highlights show. You know that you need to do some sort of mashup of clips and stuff like that of the whole season. That'd be great for your YouTube channel, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
He's already had. I was saying, Fury's already had one front bumper, and Dan's had a door when they were fighting in, or they came together in qualifying. Porsche parts.
Gary's into the pits here, Kelly.
Yeah.
So early pit stop for Gary, and just you were saying there, Porsche parts. We've seen a lot of Porsche parts on the track this season, haven't we? Throughout the course of the year, Gary in, pit stop done, and away he goes down into P8. Back to Peaceful and Fury though. It was so nice to see Peaceful get a win last week, wasn't it? We've kind of been wanting him to get the win all season, and he finally got that over the line last week.
Oh, Dan!
Dan's
dropped it.
Oh, what has happened to Dan? He's dropped all the way back. Was he fighting with Big Boy Brazy? Dan, he's rejoined and caught Andy. Oh no!
What the hell's going on?
Dan's coming back across the track. He's rejoined and caught Andy there. That could be big damage to the back of Andy's car, but the front of Dan's as well. Oh, what a shame. I'm not sure how we ended up. Yeah, it was Andy, the yellow Lamborghini, yeah.
He must have gone across the infield.
Now,
Dan must have gone across.
I'm just watching.
Because Dan had gone, had spun, and then Andy was already in front of it. I don't know, I'm not sure. I can't really work that out.
Oh, right. I've just seen on the replay, Dan lost it coming out the hairpin. It looks like he touches the grass and loses the car.
Right.
And then rejoins and clips Andy and then decides to rejoin the other side of the hairpin. So, loses part of his lap. He could have just swung it round and gone back going. But, so Dan, not quite sure what he's doing there. That Bozzy Boy very wide out the corner. Andy now comes into the pits. He's got a time penalty as well as Andy, so he's probably sped in the pit lane there. That'll be 10 seconds to his name the end of this one. So, bad to worse this lap for Andy then, as he gets T-boned by Dan and then gets a time penalty to add to his time at the end of this race. But for Big Boy Brazy, he must be licking his lips to see Dan make that mistake. The man that we said could challenge him is Span, and oh dear, well, what could happen here? Fury into the pits as well then at the end of lap 9. Gary then up into P8.
Jumps Gary, obviously Gary jumps Andy.
Yep.
Because Andy had coming together with Daniel, or Daniel came into him. That's Gary, how Gary got in front. Gary was in front anyway, wasn't he?
He was just slightly,
yeah. All done and dusted for Andy. He's done his pit stop now. All a bit unusual what happened with Dan there, but there we go. As we see in the background, is that Welshie having a... No.
No, it'll be Deeks.
It was Welshie.
Oh, was it Welshie?
Welshie having a moment, yeah.
That's a shame for him. He's at P11 at the minute. As Sutty did his early pit stop and is now P10 in this race. So what can he do in this one? We'll have to wait and see. Emo Guy second, then Big Boy Brazier first. Little Each third, but quite a way behind Emo Guy here. And at the minute, Jamie now can relax that little bit more, knowing that he's got 2 seconds back to Emo Guy. He can just take the foot off the gas a little bit more here and just make sure he doesn't make any mistakes. We're at the halfway point of this race. Lots of people still to pit that yet as well. So Gary can make up a few places here. He's not far off the back of Peaceful though at the moment. He's only 2 seconds, 1.9. Oh, there's a bright car. Is that Deeks in the midfield off track again? Yeah, that's Deeks having a bit of a moment. Yeah. Nice of him to do so when they've got people to cut the grass for them. But yeah, Deeks struggling a little bit there and having a big spin. And again, would you say it's more of a Lamborghini track, this one, or more a track for the car? You know, Lamborghini's obviously we know is good at top speed and things like that, but I'd say with that middle sector, surely you'd want to be in the Porsche or the Mercedes-Benz.
You would have said so, but the Lamborghini is leading. Lamborghini first, Lamborghini second.
Yeah.
Porsche third, and Lamborghini fourth. So yeah, you know. As you said, it's a track of 3 parts, really, and
Jamie's
for those characteristics, who's that? Who's just spun? I think it might have been Fury. As you said, Jamie comes in. Look at that little concrete chicane before you get in the pits, just to slow you down. That's nasty. Nice to see Daft Punk back together and running a pit crew. Doing a rubbish job to be fair.
Doing a job. They brought the treaded tyres out instead of the slicks. When there's no rain about. Now, what's Jamie having done here?
And the rock wheels, by looks of it, to be fair, for that car as well.
Yeah.
But, you know, never mind, boys. Go and have a cup of tea. Yeah.
Peaceful's into the pits as well at the end of lap 11 here as Emo Guy inherits the race lead. So does Little Each take second, Phil third, Monkey Boy fourth, Dan's up to fifth. Gary's jumped Jamie. Wow, the undercut. Gary's jumped Jamie. Andy's just come out ahead of Jamie as well. So Gary, 131, has done the undercut and has jumped his title rival here. And I missed at it for a second because that is brilliant stuff then from him. Gary, 131 then, at the minute, P6 doing the job he needs to do so far in this race. Andy has pitted as well, let's not forget, and he is now in front of Jamie. Will he let Jamie through? Oh, Jamie tries to force his way through, and Andy, the poor man tonight, is receiving a battering from these cars on track.
He certainly is. I'm sorry, Matt, I can't help myself. Bit of a Matt Neal, that one. Giving him a push around the corner. As I said, I couldn't help myself. How has Jamie ended up so far back?
I thought his pit stop looked a bit long for me, you know. I didn't know if he's changed tyres or something. Oh, we've lost a driver from the race. I can't quite see who that is. They've definitely not got to race distance. Someone has retired the car. That is Deeks. Deeks has retired the car.
Right.
No.
Oh yeah, Phil's leading. Phil's
leading the race now. Emo Guy has pitted, so Deeks retires from race 1. What a shame for him in what is the final 2 races of the season. Emo Guy and Dan now in the pits as well at the end of lap 12 into the pits. As Big Boy Brazier still not got past Andy here, and he's 4 seconds behind his championship rival, and that was a strange one because he was 2 seconds ahead of Gary before Gary pitted.
Yeah.
He's now lost. Interesting one.
In the pits, a bit.
Yeah, Andy very wide on the exit of turn 1, and that will free Jamie Brazier now to go and have a run at Gary 131 as Andy now rejoins just behind Jamie. But 3.6 seconds is the gap, Kelly, here, and Jamie now, you may see start to push a bit more than what he did when he was leading this race.
Yes, indeed. He's, as Martin Brundle always says, you're either giving pressure or you're taking pressure. As we see another one of the colourful Porsches on the infield. I don't know if that's Fury or Dan. But you're either giving pressure or receiving pressure. Yeah. And now Jamie's under pressure and got to crack on and get on with it. He's got to be hoping for a Gary mistake, hasn't he?
You'd think so here. The gap, 3 seconds. Yeah, 3.1 seconds. He's slightly quicker than Gary, it would seem, over the laps. But at the minute, he's got to do the work. He's got to pursue Gary, and he's the one who's got to push and get in front. Because if it stays like this at the minute, Gary will score 13 points, Jamie 11. That'll open the gap up before fastest lap, obviously, where they get the extra point. That will open the gap up to 7 points. Going into the final round, it's even more room that Jamie needs to beat. It's even more that Jamie needs to beat Gary by. It's not what he wants here, as Jamie does a 1:19.6. I think Jamie's changed tyres, you know.
Do you?
I think Jamie changed tyres. Look at everybody's laps, all of them in the 121s. Everybody, 121 or lower. Jamie in the 1:19.6 on lap 14 of this race. I reckon he's changed tyres.
He's gone soft.
Yeah.
You think he's gone soft?
I think he's gone soft and then pitted 4 extra softs.
Well, that would make sense how he lost the time, although I would feel that he would lose more time with a tyre change, because we know how incredibly rubbish the mechanics are and how long they take for a tyre change. We didn't see the tyres being changed, did we? But I suppose it's a possibility.
I mean, he is closing the gap to Gary by quite some margin. It was 3 point something as he crossed the line. It's now 2.1. He's really reeling Gary in. And as we know,
he is. And I went on board with this view, especially so we could kind of gauge where Gary is and what Jamie's looking at. There's the title. There it is in front of you. You know, so that's his aim. And as you say, he's moving quickly. Although he was a little bit down on his last lap was a quick one. He's a little bit down on this one, but still in the 119s.
Yeah, Gary into the 120s. He was 1.1 quicker than Gary on the last lap. So I mean, that's a heck of a job. As there was his teammate who span round into sort of the grass part of the circuit. Keegs not having the night he wanted here, but the old motor racing saying, isn't it? Catching's one thing, passing's another for Big Boy Brazier. Gary will be on the super defensive job here. Jamie again just up on his delta here in the first sector then. And for going Jamie quicker. Brazier, he is going quicker. And this is the interesting one I pull up here, because I think he's definitely changed tyres for me. Whether he now, I wonder, because on the pit strategy you can just change fronts or rears. Keegs is not moving, so he either needs to retire that car or get it back on circuit. He needs to do something to that car. But on your pit strategy you can either change fronts or rears. I wonder if he's just changed 2 tyres then, and maybe he's gone for a grippier front tyres to help him throughout the rest of this race, Kelly.
It's possible, yeah, absolutely. So we'll find out in time, because we will, we will find out, and I'm sure he'll tell us. But a bit of a mystery at the moment. So 7 laps to go, and Jamie is reeling him in quite so fast now, but is still the quicker man at the moment. So all to play for here.
Oh, we've lost that Bozzy boy. He's disconnected from the session as well, so hopefully he can get back in from race 2. Keegs as well as retired, so Keegs will score no points either then, as he didn't make 3/4 distance. He's got to get to lap 18 to score points. He's finished a bit short of that one. And at the moment then, Jamie Brazier, 119.9 last lap. I'm just wondering if Jamie here is going to put that much pressure on Gary. We've still got 6-7 laps left here, so still plenty of time to pit. And I'm just looking, I've got something up on my phone here. Peaceful Explosion set a personal best last lap of a 120.5, so that shows you his pace. Obviously not the last lap, because that was a 125.9, so I don't know what happened there. But according to something on my phone,
he's scrapping with Dan, actually, or he was. I think he was scrapping with Dan. I think they're in close company.
Who have we yet to see in the pits? Deke's yet to pit, he's retired. Phil's not pitted yet, neither is Monkey Boy or Little Leach. So the top 3, as I say that, Phil just comes into the pits at the end of lap 16. And here goes Jamie then across the line. What time does he set? A 119.866. So he's flying here. I would suggest, I would have it to guess that he has changed tyres then for me.
Jamie. Oh, I thought he was going to lose it then. I thought he was going to plough right into the back of Gary.
Gary's on the grass. Wide. Yeah, he's cutting. Andy's back in the pit. So what's happened to Andy? He's struggling and back into the pit lane then.
Shocker, isn't he?
But at the moment, internet problems for that Bozzy boy. That's why he disconnected. Yeah. So at the moment then, Jamie looking to put pressure on Gary here. Now, how does Gary defend this one? How does Gary do with this one? 22 people watching, 10 likes. Guys, hit that thumbs up button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Also, make sure you stay around after the break for the final race of the season, because the championship's going down to the wire, it looks like. At the moment, 3rd and 4th. Gary will score 15, Jamie 13 points before fastest lap, which I think is going Jamie Brazier's way. That will give Gary an extra point over Jamie to make it a 6-point swing. But Jamie here, that's a line.
That was an interesting line, Jamie.
That's a yield a bit of time there. That was a full corner cut there. That's got to be yielding some time.
Bad boy Brazier, that was.
Oh, indeed,
I don't
that was.
If you get a slowdown for that or not. I don't see
no slowdowns on in the pro. They're to yield time themselves, unless.
Self-disciplining and all that. Yes.
He's backed off now. He's backed off now. Look.
Yeah.
He backed off massively down the straight. He lost so much time down there. He did a 120.1, and he yielded all that time down that start straight. Must be listening to the stream then.
Yeah, we're watching.
Yeah, we are watching, Jamie.
We are watching, Jamie.
Bethany and Dustin in the chat saying, "Come on, Gary, don't let him pass." Bethany, a big fan of Gary's.
Of course she is. Of course she is.
She's here every week.
Yeah, every week continuing but slightly weird obsession with Gary 131. I'm sure she's got a T-shirt, hasn't she, that says Gary 131 for the win or something like that.
No, but now you've said that, she'll probably come downstairs
she will have one.
and want one doing. Yeah, she probably will.
Yeah.
Gary here doing a cracking job. Now the championship's changed a bit more. Gary's in second, he'll score 20 points. Jamie third will score 15. At the minute we think Jamie's got the fastest lap of the race, which will give him an extra point, but Gary will pull 4 points out now over Jamie, making the gap 9 going into race 2. But at the minute the race isn't done yet. Shout out to Monkey Boy though in this one, who's just come into the pits, and the last man to pit has gone 18 laps. He's leading this race. Don't forget he's the Pro-Am champion, was in the Acora last year and struggled massively. That's why he got relegated. He could come out here P3 in this race and take a podium in the Pro. What a job that would be for him. At the moment then, Big Boy Brazier, and this is the battle. First and second on track, first and second in the championship, 4 laps to go. This is the battle we've came to see, Kelly.
Absolutely, I was about to say this is what we're here for, and hopefully that's it's not going to disappoint. And this race isn't over yet. It's a 3 lap sprint to the end, and then we've got the feature race to go as well yet. So anything can still happen. These boys both looking racy. There's a championship on the offer in here. So don't go anywhere. Don't put the kettle on just yet. Wait till the break.
No, wait till the break, because this is fascinating. This is going to go right down to the wire, and I'll tell you what, this is where we see how much determination Jamie's got to get past him, how much grit Gary's got to keep Jamie behind him. You see him defending into all the corners, and it's quite an easy circuit to defend around here. You've got to be the attacker to make something out of nowhere to get past the guys. And it's going to be an interesting one to see this. Bethany says no, but I'm going to order one now though, as Gary goes defensive, forces Jamie to the inside, and Gary here, because it's such a long final corner and you've pretty much got to get it stopped before you get back on the power, can just defend so easily, and does that, gets back on the power now, and Jamie in his slipstream. Where does Gary decide to cover him off? That's going to be the interesting one for me. As who's that there lapping? Is that car 44? That's Fury or Dan? I'd hazard to guess that's Fury, yeah, because Dan's only 22 seconds off the race lead at the moment.
Yes, indeed. As if it is Fury, whoever it was, got out of the way cleanly. Good job. Absolutely. I still maintain that the best overtaking opportunity is here into this hairpin. Yeah, as Gary's covered that off anyway straight away, and. Keep it neat and tidy. A bit of lag there from
Jamie.
A little lag from Jamie. He kind of jumps across the circuit in an inhuman kind of way. But Gary defending well, as you say, easy to defend around here, because a lot of the corners, as we said before, easy to go wide here. So sticking to the racing line is important. There's I mean, Jamie must be just looking, thinking, where can I do this? Where can I get this done? Maybe he's waiting till the final lap or so, just so he can, once he's done the job, he can cover it off.
Jamie's having a look now. Is Jamie going to have a look into final corner? No, can't get it done. Gary's covered that off brilliantly there. Lap 20, they're coming around to start the penultimate lap of this race then, and Jamie is as close to Gary as he has been for the last couple of laps here. I tell you what, this is an absolutely fantastic battle here. Gary defending like his life depends on it.
Like there's a championship involved.
Oh, indeed. This is a fantastic drive. And Jamie here. Oh, Gary's gone a bit wide. And he's going to look. This is going to be a corner to overtake. Oh, Gary just rejoins. And is Jamie going to be brave enough to get the job done? He gets it stopped in and gets it turned in and done. Jamie now leads this race. Gary now has to become the attacker after a mistake he made. The points have swung in Jamie's favour. Jamie a little deep. Is Gary going to have a look? No, not there. He can't. But 3 tenths the gap now between the two of them. It's as close as it was a minute ago. And Gary there ran a little wide and couldn't get back on, and Jamie's gone deep. Oh no, what's happened there?
Gary's gone round.
I think Jamie lagged. I'm just going to watch the stream back on my second monitor. Jamie's round. I think Jamie there.
Is Jamie giving that back?
I don't know. I think on the stream, when this replay gets to it, I think Jamie lagged. Yeah. And that's what caught Gary out. The stream,
maybe. I'm
obviously
just
a bit behind.
Between 2 screens now.
Yeah, I'm the same. Gary's got a bit of a gap at the moment, so we're able to just kind of take a breather and have a look. So they've just coming through the hairpin. I'm looking on the stream now, and then up towards the corner.
Yeah.
There's a bit of lag from Jamie, which catches Gary out, and then Jamie sort of disappears and ends up behind Gary. I reckon Jamie's lagged, and they've kind of came together and both span, because Jamie's still spinning round when Gary comes back past. Either way, we're on the final lap of this race, and Jamie is now 1 second behind Gary and may have to concede that place and sort of stay there. He's not going to get the job done now. He doesn't want to make a huge mistake and let Monkey Boy up another place. Monkey Boy, stellar job, P3. Dan's gone up into P4 at the end. This what's happened to Emo Guy. He's down in 6th. He's struggled since his pit stop. He really has struggled since the pit stops. He's got Peaceful on the back of him. But here then, this for the race win at the moment. Gary has half a lap to go, Kelly, and he's got 1.5 seconds in the lead.
Yes, I think this one's done and dusted in case, unless Gary does one of his usual mistakes. We're hoping not. But yeah, I think that as he does go, I can't keep my mouth shut. I think he nearly did drop it then. Gives Jamie a sniff again, but where's he going to get it done? Where's he going to get it done?
I'm reckoning here, Kelly, just watching Gary these last couple of laps, I reckon Gary's tyres have gone, and Jamie did change tyres. And that's why Gary's starting to struggle a little bit. Jamie all over the back of him. They're coming into the final corner of this first race. Don't forget there's a second race to go. So it's not over in terms of the championship. Gary comes out the corner now. And that one is job done. Round 1 tonight goes to Gary 131. Championship leader. Championship elect, should I say. Takes that lead and extends his gap. Big Boy Brazier, a good P2 for him. Monkey Boy, what a job. Comes in, he's been promoted. He's only coming in to score points for the team until next year when he joins the team. P3, Dan, good recovery drive from a 4th after a big spin earlier and collision with Andy then. Little each P5 to make the extend the gap for the Constructors champions in this one. Emo Guy dropped to P6. Not sure what happened to Emo Guy there. Peaceful is going to come and take a P7. Not the race he would have wanted, that's for sure. Sooty Apex is going to cross the line for a P8. Not the race Sooty would have wanted. That to me says he's on the wheel. Phil then, P9, well in front of Welshie. So it looks like he's going to get out under 40 seconds. Is the gap back to Welshie here?
Yeah, Welshie's had some adventures this evening, I feel.
He has.
And there's Welshie.
Oh, they finished. Welshie's finished it. Looks like Fury has as well. So Welshie's finished P10, Fury 11th. We lost a driver at the end there.
Andy. I was just about to talk about him and then he disappeared.
Andy will finish P12 then. P12 in this one. Fury will get 11th place. And for... who was it? I just said who was crossing line. Phil got P9 with Welshie P10. But Gary, your race 1 winner, fastest lap goes to Big Boy Brazier. Only 2/10 quicker than Dan. So we said Dan had pace early doors, but Jamie will close that gap in the championship as we head into the second race. Gary in the chat, Jamie, sort your connection out for the next season. Could have costed you this championship. Well done, Gary Brazier. Doing a Lewis cutting corners for time, but we'll be back right after this short break where the finale of this championship is going down to the wire. Guys, do not go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment. And we're clear. Right, press it then, mate. Press that and then I'll be able to reload the lobby and it should be back to me then when I get to... So Jamie, Monkey Boy, Gary's appearing offline, of course he is, which means I've got to scroll down about 50,000 names. Gary, get them in. Interesting race. You're the night sky shining under your stars. The darkness so lonely.
What have I done? Would be a new lobby. I just...
No, I'll send the invites will go out again in a minute, mate, for like a second lobby.
Right. Yeah.
For some reason, the championship doesn't take you back to the lobbies. You have to then resend the invite out for the lobby.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
No interview for me, mate. Out in the garden for me to cool down. Haha.
Who's that?
Gary.
Jamie.
No, Gary.
Gary.
Yeah. Right, none of them have joined yet. Jamie's probably effing and jeffing. Gary's gone to cool down. He's probably been sweating a bit. Right, I'm going to run to the little boy's room while everybody gets in.
Yeah.
Ooh, if I can get up my chair. Oh, there we go.
Hi, mate. All right.
Hello.
How you doing?
All right, thank you. You?
Yeah, not too bad. Matt's just nipped to the loo a minute.
Oh, okay.
Good race, man.
Thank you. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of quietly went about your business there, didn't you? And ended up.
Yeah, especially after losing it in turn one, like dropping right down to the bottom of the pack.
Yeah, I don't know if you were. I don't know if you watched the stream or listened to the stream. I predicted that there was going to be absolute carnage in turn one, and as it happened, you were the only one that had a moment. So I was completely wrong about that.
Oh right. Yeah, I did outbrake myself a little bit.
Yeah, it's easily done on that. That first corner's weird, isn't it? You know.
It is. Yeah.
You kind of ignore that first apex and then not try to lose it under braking as you come to the second one.
That's it. Yeah, and I was trying to do too many things at once, I think.
Yeah. Never mind. All worked out all right in the end.
Yeah, we got there. Worked our way through.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I've driven that Merc. I don't know what it's like. It looks like a handful at times, but looks reasonably quick in a straight line.
In a straight line, it's good.
Yeah.
Sort of the infield section here, it's difficult. You've got to try and find a balance.
Yeah.
I'm not too bad because I've got used to it now. Obviously, I've had the season in it, so I've got used to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got to be really careful on the loud pedal.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Because it just lights it up and goes.
Round it goes, yeah. No doubt. And it is getting used to these things, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I've been doing touring car on Motive for the last 2 seasons, and I don't drive anything else now when I play project cars. Do you know what I mean? Right. I just stick to driving the touring car so that I know it intimately well. Not that that's doing any good for me whatsoever. But
who's in this chat? Oh, there's no Jamie. It's just Monkey. You used all your experience taught by Dean Wasaki, didn't you, in that race to get third? He's watching on the big screen at home.
On the big screen tonight.
Oh, Dean. Oh, hang on. Right, back. I think we're getting Gary in. Who is in the lobby then? Dan, Peaceful Craig, Deeks, Gary, Andy, Monkey Boy, Emo, Jamie, Phil, Sutty, Welshie, D Biggs. No Fiore. Is he not racing this last race? Is that where his message was?
I don't know.
Well, that answers my next question. Think from now on, I'll stick to a car I know how to drive well. It was the first couple of laps. Peaceful took a dive on me and pushed me into the gravel. Alright, boy.
Hey, day.
Hello, Gary.
All right, boy.
By the
How you
way,
doing?
just say, did you see the constructors in F1 before we go back live?
Huh?
We're 20 points behind McLaren. Now, if someone finishes races, we won't be 20 points behind McLaren.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I did see that.
Cheers, babe.
But
Right, interview Jamie. Jamie's here. Right, let's go. This is going to be interesting. So, let me just do the table before we go back live, so I'm not doing them while I'm trying to talk. The gap is
I'm
9
nervous as shit.
points.
He is quick, boy.
Jamie, you disappeared, by the way, on the stream, and then Gary spam.
Jamie, what happened?
With my internet, literally, I've done everything. Turned it off earlier. I've got TP link, Ethernet cable. It's just terrible.
I literally went into that corner and you disappeared. Next thing I know, I'm round, so I've like must have hit an invisible car. And then next thing, I turn around and you're facing the wrong way, and I'm like, well, you disappeared. To be fair, going into the corner before you disappeared, you went like right left, and I thought you were just gonna proper disconnect then. I thought, fucking hell, I don't want to win a championship like this.
Yeah, my internet's just had a massive fart moment.
Oh. I'll have to let you win karting instead.
Yeah. Yeah, you won't have to. I'll win it anyway.
Probably. I'm shit in a cart. Too big.
Right. Let's get back to it.
When I saw Liam, I thought, oh no, here we go again.
Yeah,
I thought
he's just sent
here
me a
we go,
picture.
everyone-
He's getting an 8 megabyte upload or download or whatever it was. I didn't see.
Yeah, he said in the party.
Right. Let's see. So I'll start with you, Monkey.
Okay.
Dean Rosaki apprentice. Right, we're going to go back live now. Welcome back to Simplay Motorsport, ladies and gentlemen, for the finale of the season, and 9 points separates the top two in the title fight. Got the three in the top three in for an interview in this one. I'm going to start with third place Monkey Boy, who Pro-Am champion, running the number one livery. For that reason, you've came into the Pro to score points for your teammate Peaceful, who's going to be teammate next year, I do believe, as well. You've got the pace of the Pro lads, haven't you?
Well, I wasn't expecting it. I was just coming in to have a bit of fun, and yeah, it sort of played out that I came out in third. I was like expecting to come out in 7th or 8th.
You've put the team in a position of potentially P2, 14 points to get second in the constructors here.
Oh, okay, that's good news. I wasn't expecting anything. I was just like coming in to have a bit of fun.
Yeah. Well, obviously, you was in the Pro last year. Wrong call in the Acura didn't seem to suit you. You know, obviously, certain circumstances as well. Mercedes has been a lot better for you. We've seen on a Wednesday night, you've dominated all Wednesday nights. But tonight, you know, and other races that you've been in the Pro group this season, you seem to have had pace. Are you looking forward to next season now?
Yeah, I am. I've sort of said to myself, like last year, I was getting the confidence back. So yeah, I'm sort of having it as a stepping stone, if you like, to next year. And yeah, just see what happens next year.
Well, we can't wait to see you in the on the grid for next year, and hopefully you'll be getting quicker over the winter break, over the off season, should I say?
Hopefully, yeah. Do a bit of testing, see what happens.
Oh, we'll let you get back to it, buddy. Best luck for race 2.
Thank you.
In with us now, the two championship rivals, the guys who battled it out on track. Jamie dominated that race. Pit stop cost you though.
Yeah, I did. I changed tyres, so I put another set of the softs on.
That explains why you were so quick.
Yeah.
You had the pace to get past Gary. Gary made the mistake and the door opened, but then a bit of an internet problem. Seeing you disappear on the stream as well, and then end up sort of reappearing, spinning round.
Yeah, say there's not much to say about that. Not much that can be done about that. Just say I've tried to sort my internet out as much as possible. I mean, at least it isn't as bad as last season, so there's that to be thankful for. But yeah, it's a bit annoying when you've taken the lead and then your internet does that.
What's your plans for race 2, mate? 9 points the gap. What you got to do in this one?
I'm going full balls to the wall and just going first. Trying to get past anyone trying to get past anyone and just get as far in front of Gary. You
start in front of Gary in this race, so that's a bonus.
Yeah, that is a bonus, but say anything can happen into turn 1. Just got to keep my wits about me, then just push my way forward and get as many points as possible and stay as far ahead of Gary as possible.
Well, we wish you the best of luck with it.
Game on.
Gary, race winner. It's been a tricky season for you, and he's not making it easy, is he?
No, far from easy. He's very quick tonight. Very, very surprised, actually, to be fair.
He's put you under a bit of pressure. I bet you were surprised to jump him in the pits, wasn't you?
Yeah, I was very surprised, actually. I assumed that he'd come in for some tyre change, so I knew he was going to be quick and catch me fairly quickly, but I just had to put the car in the right places, really.
You defended superbly until that one mistake where you got up your inside, and then again, bit of a lag, internet spike for him that seen you ultimately hit a brick wall or something and lose the rear, and then he reappears as he's spinning as well.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened there, to be fair. I feel quite sorry for Jamie. Obviously, I don't want to win a title this way, but yeah, with him being so quick, actually helps quite a bit.
What happened on that last lap? Because he was like 1.5 seconds behind you, but then seemed to catch you at such a rapid rate. Is your tyres just gone, or...?
I was just trying to keep it in a straight line, to be fair.
Well, we wish you the best luck. What's your plans for race 2, mate?
Keep on the back of his bumper.
Well, best of luck, mate. We'll let you get back to the action.
Lovely, and all the best, Jamie. Thank you.
Cheers, buddy. There we go then, Kelly. 2 championship rivals, one going flat out, one going to go flat out but stay on his bumper with, apparently.
Oh, well, that's all he needs to do, isn't it, to be fair? Gary can follow Jamie home. It's Jamie that's got to do all the work to win this championship, but game on, Matt, game on.
Game on indeed. And Kieran Argent, one of the admins here at Simplace, just put a stat on the chat for us. Monkey Boy was on the podium 19 of 22 races in the Pro-Am this year, and has now got a podium in the Pro, so that's how good a season he has had. If Big Boy Brazier wins, Gary needs second. Third isn't enough, so that's what he needs to do as well. If Jamie gets second, Gary needs to finish no lower than 5th place to get the championship. Basically, Jamie needs 10 points to win it, 9 points, or go to a countback of race wins. Top 7 couldn't qualify for this one then. That is Big Boy Brazier, Monkey Boy, Gary, Little-Each, Peaceful Explosion and Orthodox. We've lost Fury and Keegs. They're not back in. That Bozzy Boy is not qualifying either. The top 7 can't qualifying at the minute. We're seeing the class of 97 do what they've done most of the season, have a good qualifying session. They've then struggled to convert it into a good race performance at times. It seems to be when they qualify a bit worse off, they do have a better race. But at the minute, it's a class of 97 lockout. Phil 3rd, D-Biggs, who wasn't in the first race, in P4, Sutty's 5th, with Deek 7th, Deek 6th and Welshie in 7th. Oh my days, it's been a long old season, and we're well due a rest here, I think.
We are. I thought I might stay in New Zealand for a couple of weeks and chill out here for a couple of weeks before we get back. Yeah, you know, obviously I'm super excited for this final feature race, but then also excited to get a new season underway. We'll reset and go again. You know, see what people have learnt. And you know, I join you here every Thursday. I don't follow Pro-Am, so I'm looking forward to the quick guys coming up through, like Monkey Boy. You know, looking forward to that new blood and seeing what they can do when we start a new season later in the year. Indeed, new blood, new cars maybe as well. A lot of rumours of Pete drivers changing car. Andy and Emo Guy or two. I know that Sutty and Phil may be looking at changing out the Lamborghini.
What will Welsh and Deeks do? That Bozzy Boy's coming up. He's in the Bentley tonight. He's raced the Porsche all season in Pro-Am. So is that a car maybe he's looking at? Jamie and Keegs, they're being separated next season. Keegs deciding that he wants to go a different way. What way is he going to go in terms of a teammate? What car is he going to go? Monkey Boy and coming up to partner Peaceful. Are they going to stay AMG or not? What about the 2 times Constructors Champions, Gary and Lidl each? Will they be Porsche next year or not? So a lot of changes. Also, I think one thing is for certain. I think Dan and D Biggs could be a partnership next year. Both have had a good season in the Porsche, so it's one I'm looking forward to seeing. Because Dan could be a real threat if he's in that Porsche next year.
Yeah, and absolutely, he could be a proper championship contender. Of course, he started the season in the Ferrari and had a shocker in that. The Ferrari GT3, not the best of cars, although better as a GTE. Yes, as soon as he got into the Porsche, he came alive a little bit, which he has, and had a very long run of podium scorings and some cracking good wins. And him and D Biggs have had some real cracking good races. Very close races.
Imola was one to the highlight, I think, of their battles this season.
So, if they team up as a partnership, that could be a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Now, just going through the championship standings with a minute and a half left, Gary obviously 9 points clear. Emo Guy's third place because D Biggs missed the first race. So D Biggs has to beat Emo Guy in this one to get third place in the championship. He needs to outscore him by 2 points to get that third place. Sutty then, it looks cemented in fifth. Little Each is P6. That one looks job done, although that's only 15 points. Anything could happen in this race. Dan is now 4 points clear of Peaceful Explosion and is 10 points clear of Andy for that 7th place, and 7th, 8th and 9th battle still on firmly, only 10 points between the three. Phil and Keegs well into the hundreds. Welshie though could finish ahead of his young son, especially because Keegs isn't in the session at the minute, and then Deeks and Fury, the 2 relegation boys of the season. Obviously losing AH&G in the season freed up an extra spot, so only 2 will get relegated, not the original 3 in this season. So Fury and Deeks look like they're going down. Obviously Monkey Boy, Rabbit Joe and Liam Gamer, or as he's changed his name and will be known as from next season instead of changing it halfway through, that Bozzy Boy, all going up into the Pro, and 2 of them are on track tonight. And I tell you what, D Biggs has gone pole here, a 1:19.4, only 800s quicker than Emo Guy.
He's had that for a little while, and they're not these guys not quite as fast as the qualifying in for the first race, because we were in the low 19s, wasn't there? Now could be that these guys, that's where their pace is. But still going well. D Biggs has had that has had hold of that pole for a little while, so we'll see if just we're coming to the end now. The session's over, so last laps for a lot of these guys. We see Andy's already in the pit, so he's not going to be threatening this one. So really, I suppose it's down to Emo Guy. Is he starting? Just finish that lap then?
No, he's done. Yeah, so he's done. Sutty's done.
Yeah.
I'd say only really Phil, who's on a lap. He's coming up to the hairpin now, needs 4 tenths. D Biggs though is about to cross the line. This would be D Biggs' first pole position of the season if he takes this here. He's at the final corner now, so
see if he improves.
Really only Phil that can challenge for pole here, as that was Welshie coming into the pits as well, or Deeks, one of them is in the pits, crosses the line.
He goes quicker.
He does, so Phil now needs to find half a second to take the pole away from him, and he's coming around to the final sector here. And what is his pole time going to be? At the moment, 23 people watching the stream, 12 likes. Guys, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you want to get in touch with joining for Season 3, get in touch with the Simplay Motorsport Facebook page or join the group, and we'll see what we can do for next season.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have your comments, people watching. Come on, make a comment. It's the last race of the season. Let's have your thoughts for the last race of the season. Let's, you know, if you've got something to say, then let's have it on the chat. Let's hear your final thoughts for the season.
Yeah, final thoughts for the season, and a prediction of Gary or Jamie for the final race win. But D Biggs will take his first pole position of the season at the final race of the season as well. We saw this last night in the Pro-Am where Daniel Francis in the Acura of all cars, Kelly, taking the final pole of the year, because you know the Acura is just an absolute demon. But
it's just a glorified Honda, isn't it?
Well, it's just what the Americans don't want to use the word Honda. They just call it Acura, probably because they're ashamed. But no, either way, Great qualifying from him. Great qualifying for D Biggs as well, who takes his final pole, the final pole of the season, of the sim play season. So job done for him. If you are D Biggs, though. Emo Guy second, Andy third, with Phil P4 alongside just ahead of his teammate with Deeks and Welsh. He's kind of all teammates in a row there. D Biggs obviously lost his teammate earlier in the season. Then we get to that Buzzy Boy who starts P8. Now what a position he starts, because obviously he's being promoted, he's testing the waters here, but Big Boy Brazier, P9, Monkey Boy 10th, Gary 11th will start right behind his championship rival, Little Each 12th, with Peaceful 13th, and Dan will start right from the back. And we've seen Dan from the back before make his way to the front, so Dan could be a threat. Keep your eyes on him in this race, but it's all about the guy in P9 versus the guy in P11. Get your comments in the chat. Gary or Jamie for the title. Jamie needs 10 points to win it, 9 points to take it on a countback of race wins, which, if I have a quick look now while the drivers are just sorting out last minute preparations, Gary takes it 7-2 in terms of the race wins this year. So Gary will comfortably win the final promotion spot in this one then. So Jamie has got to do it on the track. He can't rely on the countback of race wins. He needs 10 points or more to do it. So Gary and Jamie, this could be a cracking fight to the end, Kelly.
Yes, it could, and as we said before, game on. These are the guys you're going to have to be watching. I think I think these two guys at the front, both D Biggs and Emo Guy, are no slouch. I think these guys could just kind of up and go and take the race win, one of these two, being that all things are equal. And but I think that battle is going to be, as we said, Jamie and Gary, they're the guys for the title. But I don't think it's going to happen at the front. I think it's going to happen, in the third, fourth, fifth kind of spot, really.
Yeah.
But who knows? I said there's going to be a massive accident in the first race, and I was completely wrong about that. So
just doing some workings out here, Kelly, for Gary to finish 16th, which is not 16 drivers, it's only 14. So for Gary to finish 14th and score 2 points, Jamie needs to finish 4th or higher to win the title.
Right. We're just syncing up.
So pretty much. We'll keep you updated as the race goes on. For the final time, though, this season in the pro category, the lights are on, and we're green. It's go, go, go. D Biggs gets a terrible getaway, and Emo Guy launches really well and already into the lead of this race as we're heading down towards turn 1. If you're Gary and Jamie, how aggressive are you into turn 1? But Emo Guy already leads off the line. Sooty and Phil following each other through with Andy. Lamborghini's at the sharp end of this grid. Look at them all, and Jamie's gone up. There's a huge incident in the background at turn 1 this time around. Not sure who's involved. Peaceful. Little Each is involved in that one. That is Welshie as well. That Buzzy Boy there. Little Each has huge damage. But ultimately, Big Boy Brazier and Gary wasn't involved. P6 and 7 off the line. They've gained a few places here. Gary for the win, says Ian Thompson in the chat. But great start from Emo Guy.
Yes, indeed. A cracking start from Emo Guy. Got the absolute jump on D Biggs and converted it into P1 at the moment. But D Biggs is all over the back of him at the moment, and so he should be. It's only lap 1, so all to play for. As I say, as we see someone
That's
going
Sooty.
wide.
That's Sooty wide.
Was it Sooty? Right. Sooty goes wide. Everyone else comes up a position behind him. So at the moment, as they go, our championship contenders are fifth and sixth at the moment. So all to play for. Of course, there's a mandatory pit stop in this, as usual. Pit window is
lap 8.
Lap 8. So that's the official pit window. Of course, they can come in for damage and whatever. We've seen tyre changes in race 1 on a dry circuit. So that may come into play a bit later on. But again, reasonably clean start from most of the guys, certainly the front runners.
Yeah, indeed, a clean start, a bit of a kerfuffle at the back. Gary for the win, says Bethany as well. No surprise there. Little Each in the pits. He had no rear spoilers. That would have been big damage on the back of that car. And at the minute, Big Boy Brazier's 5th. Gary 6th, just a bit off the back of Jamie so far. But Jamie's got to get through the traffic. Oh, there's Dan, who's had a bit of a moment coming into the hairpin. Peaceful's just bumped the rear of Sooty as well. I saw her in the background there. So it all just got jumbled up as Dan was sort of sideways through the hairpin, nowhere to go, and everybody did well. I know Peaceful tapped the rear of Sutty, but they was all trying to slam the brakes on, so they didn't plough into the side of Dan. But at the moment, Phil managing to keep Big Boy Brazy behind him. Wants that final podium this season. He's not had too much talk about us, Phil, this year, but Jamie knows what he's got to do. At the minute, Jamie gains a point on Gary. If he gets fastest lap, it's 2 points. It's not enough. Gary comfortable where he is. Here goes Jamie looking for a bit of a move up the inside. Deeks in the background, losing the car, and Jamie up to 4th now then. Phil a bit deep, and is that Gary coming through?
Yeah, Gary's going to follow him through, I think, yeah.
Side by side, Dean Wasaki says in the chat, you're going to be interested in this last race. Sorry, Kelly.
Yeah, no, just wondered if the Lambo was faster in a straight line, but they look evenly matched. So Gary's got that done. His strategy is just to stay on the back of Jamie, and that's all he needs to do. And he's doing that. Jamie takes past Phil, and Gary does exactly the same. So even Stevens again. And
it was nice to see Phil not fight it too hard, knowing that there's a championship up for grabs. As much as he wants a final podium, if not win, it was nice to see him not put too much of a defence on and cause an incident with the championship rival. So well done, Phil, for that one. Well done to all the drivers not getting involved in too much of a scrap tonight with these championship protagonists. But at the minute, Big Boy Brazier, P4, it's only good enough again for 2 points now, the gap. So if he gets fastest lap, that'll be a 3-point swing. But again, it's not enough. He needs 10 points to win the championship. Gary doing exactly what he said. He's not quite sticking to the bumper, but he's following him through.
He is, yes, quite interesting. Andy was looking just in front of Jamie here in 3rd place, was looking very racy behind D Biggs a couple of laps ago, but seemed to have dropped off the pace again. As I say that, he's just pulled back up onto the back of D Biggs. As D Biggs been a little bit scruffy around the corners because Andy is all over the back of him. As I was going to say, he was falling off the back of D Biggs, and Jamie was reeling him in, but that's all changed as we're chatting here. Andy popped inside. That was aggressive.
He sold the dummy there, didn't he? He looked like he was going to stay to the outside, cut back to the inside, very aggressive, like I say. But good hard racing from Andy. Wants that final race win. Doesn't want to end the season with a 1-2 for the team. He knows that their team are in a fight. 4th, that 2nd place in the constructors with no Keegs for Jamie to score points with. Class of 97 only need 13 points. Forever Forward Racing need 14 points. So a fight's on for 2nd in the constructors championship next season. And there's that Gary. Has he just tapped the back of Jamie a bit there?
He did have a bit of a.
He's allowed him to keep position. He's allowed him to keep position then. So Jamie now getting frustrated behind Andy and Big Boy Brazy as Gary pouncing on the back of him there, and he literally pounced, gave him a bit of a love tap, bit of a Plato kiss, if you will, up his rear end.
Yes, indeed, as they got very up close and personal, rubbed door handles a bit. You'll notice that all the mirrors are still on the car because the mirrors are indestructible.
The only part of the car that is on this game, isn't it?
Yeah. Everything else can break, but the mirrors are indestructible. As we know with Fury, you can lose wheels, but you can't lose mirrors. Anyway, back to the racing. Yeah, no harm done with these two. They fell off the back of Andy a little bit, but no doubt they're going to reel him back in a little bit. Andy going really well in this. He had a shocker over race 1. Going better in this race 2. Andy, with his own admission, said he's not a big fan of these cars. He prefers a front-wheel drive touring car type car. But he's Andy boy, isn't he?
He's had a cracking season as well. Yeah, Andy's had a cracking season. It's been nice to see Andy on the track. Obviously commentated most last season and has done a bit this season. Oh, now here we go. There's Little Leach's back marker here being lapped now. Obviously he's got to respect blue flags now. He doesn't get in Jamie Brazier's way there. Was he going to try and help Gary out? No, doesn't. Keeps it a clean, fair fight. What we want to see here. One thing I've noted, Ian is gone. He's 3 seconds up the road here, Kelly. He's just put his foot down in this 2nd race and is gone.
Yes, indeed. And I said Emo Guy and D Biggs would, are both quick guys. Both race winners, I believe. They're both no slouches. So, equally as good as Jamie and Gary and whatever. All these top 5 are. He's checked out a little bit. 3.4 seconds
and this
in
is
front of D Biggs.
He needs to be don't forget, he needs to be in front of D Biggs for that 3rd place, in the championship. So doing what he needs to finish top 3 in the title as well, Kelly.
Yes, indeed, doing exactly what he needs to do. D Biggs doesn't seem to have any answer for that. Probably looking in his mirrors more than he is looking forward because Andy's very racy behind him, and Jamie and Gary all behind that. So he's got a mirror full of fast cars, and just got to keep it all together.
Keep it all together, and he looks like he's doing a cracking job at the minute. It just looks like he's starting to gap Andy a little bit. I was panicked for a moment there because I didn't see Gary come round the corner on the back of Jamie, and I wondered if Gary had a problem, but then he turned up. Jamie Haas in the back of the Lamborghini now of Andy, though, as Phil's just dropping off the back of Gary. Dan's trying to get on the back of this pack as well, you see there in the background. A bit of a quiet race for him at the moment, but obviously we're trying to cover everybody, but obviously the main battle here tonight is the Gary Big Boy Brazy one. Kaylee in the chat says, "Come on, Jamie." Jamie's partner there cheering him on, while my partner cheers on Gary. So work that one out.
Does she?
Yeah.
Well, that's unusual. We haven't seen her do that.
It surprised me when she said Gary for the win in this race. You know. As Gary there, very wide and a bit of a wiggle. Jamie now on the back of Andy, looking to really put the pressure on Andy now, his Big Boy Brazier. Andy's very wide out that final corner, and I tell you what, if he's not got if he can't get back in front, look at that, he has done. Andy's got some setup on that car in a straight line. Wow. Yeah,
that's a quick machine. Equal cars, so Andy's obviously got that set up in a straight line, but Jamie flashing the lights. He wants to get past him, wants to get on with this. Got a championship to win here. While Gary's still in his rearview mirrors, he ain't winning.
He isn't, and the thing is for Jamie at the minute, even third place, if he gets third place, it's still not enough. It's only a 4-point difference. Even with fastest lap, that's only 5 points. He needs 10, don't forget. This is the problem. Beth says that I chat to cheer for Gary because you don't race, Matt. You could cheer me on in the commentary box.
There you go.
Dan,
that doesn't make it weird at all.
No, definitely not.
That's absolutely fine.
Dan now in the background on the back of Phil here for P7. So Dan really starting to put in some good laps here, and we've not seen the best of Dan tonight. Obviously had that collision in a spin with Andy in race 1, and we didn't see the best of him come through the field. And race 2 here, we're starting to see Dan at his best. Can he get involved in this championship battle? Gary there just touching the grass,
just a little bit.
He's got away with it onto the curb now. Done. Jamie here just cannot find a way past Andy.
No, indeed. Andy's running a good race, and Dan's gonna. I was going to say Dan was racy in the first part of the first race, and then managed to drop it or whatever went wrong, and then it just all turned really bad after that. But
clipped Andy didn't he, and he dropped it as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Dan pass Phil and get up on the back of this leading group. If he gets involved from there, we'll see. We'll see if he just holds station behind Gary. But that's why. Phil. Oh look, as Phil's gone a little bit wide there. Not enough to open the door for Daniel, to be fair, but certainly under pressure from Dan. As I say, I think he's going to cruise up on the back of these guys,
I completely agree with you, to be fair. These three battling really well. D-Biggs, Andy, Big Boy Brazy and Gary. Big Boy Brazy still not past Andy yet. And how's your bottle here, Jamie? How's your nerves? Because frustration must be growing that you can see your championship rival in your rear view mirror, and yet you can't get past the yellow Lamborghini in front of you. You must be getting frustrated, but he's so far so good. Pit window's open. We've only seen Little Leach in after his first lap shenanigans where he lost his rear wing. Didn't see what happened there though, as that is that Bozzy Boy round on the grass and keeping well out the way before rejoining as the leaders come through.
And Dan has got past Phil as well. We didn't see it, but Dan has got past, and he's going to, as I say, start reading these.
Peaceful's got past Phil, so Phil must have had a problem. Oh, look at these, really congested. Really congested. And look at Gary, has he got a bit of a run on Big Boy Brazier? Brazier can't pull out on Andy, and Gary can't. He tucks back in. Them Lamborghinis are like lightning down the straight at the minute. The Porsche can do nothing about him. And Jamie now goes for a little look up the inside. He's going to go deep. Can't get it done. He's tapped the rear of Andy, and he taps him wide, and now cuts back across, and Gary can't get past. Is Jamie there going slow to let Andy through? He is. He's letting Andy back through, and there go. Oh, Gary's let him through.
Let him through.
Wow.
Oh, there was all a bit of handbags there, and they all just sorted it out. And as I said, that put Dan right back on the back of this group. But they kind of sorted it out amongst themselves. A bit of pushing and shoving, and we go back to where we started, which, to be fair, is probably the best outcome, because we don't want to see people tapped off the track and so on and so forth. We want to see it done clean. So we reset. We go again. Jamie has to get in front of Andy. He has to get clear of Gary. He doesn't have to get in front of Andy so much, but at the moment he's losing this championship, not winning it.
Indeed he is at the minute, and I think that Jamie there, if you look back, was slowing down to let Andy through, that Gary got caught up in it. He was that close to the rear of him. Gary got caught up. Andy very, very wide on the grass, manages to get back on the circuit. Andy's able to defend his line there then as he comes into the final corner. Let's see it all around now. So far, so good. Where is Andy gone? I think he's dived into the pit lane as he's losing places. He's in the pits. So Andy pits at the end of lap 9 in this race. Andy comes into the pits then and releases Big Boy Brazier, Gary and Unorthodox, who is now right on the back of these two, but Gary also right on the back of Big Boy Brazier. And has Big Boy Brazier made a mistake somewhere? Because Gary's a lot closer to him than what he was out the final corner. Gary here running a cracking race, but so is Jamie, but it's not enough. Jamie P3, 15 points he'll get. Even if he gets fastest lap, it's only 16. Gary will get 13 points, and that's only a 3-point switch. Not enough. He needs 10. I keep saying this. I know it might be getting boring, but he needs 10 points to win this title.
Gary doing exactly what he said he would do in the interview, and exactly what he needs to do is just keep Jamie in check, just keep within him. He knows if he stays in this position, then he's got it. Whichever way he does it, he knows being just behind Jamie, that Jamie can't score enough. So Jamie's got to dig deep and got to find something. Maybe the pit stops will change things around. We'll see. Dan doing his usual line. He's made up a whole new track, which has more infield than track. Again, what does Dan do? He doesn't want to get involved in this. He don't want to be involved in this championship, does he? But
no. But looking at Dan, to go back to another question, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 podiums since he's changed to the Porsche, and he's not really looked like he struggled. Bar race 2 at Imola, he's not looked like he struggled in that Porsche all season. So will he want to add to his podium tally at the end of this season in the final race? The Emo guy, 7 seconds up the road, he is gone. But for Gary at the moment, doing exactly what he needs to do. Andy came out P11, Peaceful into the pits. Peaceful, it's a good job we're not really cheering Peaceful on this race, because he's not had his best race yet.
No, bless him. We kind of, we've been a bit off Peaceful. It's been all about the championship tonight, and so it should be. That's what we're here for. And just going back to what you're saying about Dan, when he wants to put on a podium, we're all racers, Matt, aren't we? Every single one of us. Do you know what I mean? Although you and me choose to talk about it more than we do race these days, we're all racers, and every single one of us wants to win the race. And second place is only first loser, and we all know that. But on the other hand, being involved in a
D-Biggs.
D-Biggs goes a little bit wide there. Jamie have a chance to reel him in a little bit, the reason that we get involved in this sim racing is, and we don't just race with all the other Muppets on the internet in the lobbies, is because we want respectful racing. We want the guy behind us not to punt us off the track. And like you saw just a minute ago, the 3 guys got together. They sorted it out as gentlemen.
Now, interesting thing here, Kelly. D-Biggs pits, but as a time penalty, so that'll be 10 seconds added to his time at the end for speeding in the pit lane. So that could help Jamie and Gary out. But again, Jamie up to P2, Gary P3. The difference is 5 points now, though, between the 2 championship leaders. But even with fastest lap, it's only a 6-point swing, so it's not enough. Jamie needs to win, with Gary finishing 3rd or less. Let's not forget, he's 8 seconds behind Emo Guy, though.
Yeah, I believe he needs 10 points, does he not?
He does need 10 points. Have you heard me say that before tonight?
He might have. Yeah, you might have said it. Yeah,
once or twice.
Yeah, you might have said it like your missus said that. Come on, Gary, for the win. Do you know what I mean? It may have happened once.
Yeah. Gary was actually 2/10 quicker than Jamie last lap, but Unorthodox was 2/10 quicker than Gary last lap. So Dan looking very racy, as is Gary, as is Jamie, though. There was all quicker than the race leader as well, so starting to gain on him. Now that Andy and D-Biggs have been cleared, can they open their legs? They've got Peaceful in front, who's damaged, he said. Can they stretch their legs now? Not open their legs, that'd be a bit weird, wouldn't it? Can they stretch their legs to get this job done? Gary's following Jamie. Gary following Jamie into the pits. So at the end of lap 12, both championship rivals into the pit here. Now, Jamie admitted he changed tyres race 1. Does Gary change tyres race 2? Does just Jamie change tyres? Let's find out. It was clearly the better strategy. Clearly had more pace than Gary. I'm going to have as a guess that Jamie's changing
Gary's
tyres.
away.
Gary hasn't changed tyres for me. I'm going to have it to guess Jamie is, unless Jamie's had a bit of damage. But Gary then is in front of Jamie. That is the crucial bit of this race. Jamie, is he away yet? He's only away now. And is that the championship gone? If he's changed tyres, the fresh rubber will be so quick. Gary has jumped D Biggs and nearly jumped Andy. He's going to try and keep it around the outside. Again, he doesn't want to get caught up in a fight here, but Gary at the minute, he's got a cut back on Andy. What a move. Is he going to let Andy have that one into the corner? He's going to be a brave man if he's going to try and keep it at the inside. No, he lets Andy have the corner then. He's getting involved in a bit of a battle here. He doesn't need to be in. As D Biggs pulls out now, and is Gary going to defend D Biggs too hard? No, D Biggs late on the brakes, but Gary ultimately has a 6-second gap back to Big Boy Brazier.
Yes, indeed. Now, has Jamie changed tyres? If he has, is this going to swing? Remember what pace Jamie had in race 1 and how he could reel people in? Is this a master move, or is it the throwing away the championship? This is what we're going to see in the next 9 laps.
9
so
laps.
Not long.
No, not long at all. Shout out to Deeks here, P4 in this race. Had obviously a dismal race 1 and retired from the race as he's just a bit wide at the final corner as Sutty comes into the pits at the end of lap 13. But shout out to Deeks now, running in a podium spot. Not yet been into the pits this race, so he's still got to make his pit stop. But nice to see him running so far up there. D-Biggs then now on the back of Gary as they all get past Sutty Apex. Does Jamie Brazier get past Sutty in the pits? Sutty's on his way out. It's not the longest of pit lanes, but he'll be up to speed far quicker than Sutty will. He is in front of Sutty Apex then. And Sutty, crucially, has jumped his teammate in the pit stops. So he's now ahead of Phil. Gary then trying to challenge the back of Andy here. Now, did Jamie change tyres? Did he repair a bit of damage he may have had with Andy? We've seen him have damage with Andy. That is that Bozzy boy staying well out the way of this championship battle here. Gary 34 seconds off the leader. Jamie 40 seconds off the leader. 6 seconds is the gap. It's not enough at the minute if you're Jamie Brazier, because you're now losing points. Gary will score 11. Jamie's only going to score 9. As it stands, he's close enough to D-Biggs, so he'll get 6th place. He'll be 10. So he'll actually finish 10 points off the back of Gary as it stands at the moment. It's not going his way. And that longer pit stop again in race 2, you just fear how much that's costing, because even if he gets past Gary, he's got to get further forward. How much does that pit stop cost him?
Well, Jamie's going to be hoping for one of Gary's mistakes, and although it would liven up the race, we don't want to see Gary making mistakes. We don't want to see anybody making mistakes. We want to see it on pure pace. But that's what Jamie's going to be hoping for, I think. Or he can, just hoping that he can have the pace on those change tyres to reel him in and get forward.
Well, he's done a 1:19.3 last lap. Jamie has. Wow, that is a fast lap.
It is, but is it enough? He's not just got to get past Gary, as you said. He's got to get a few positions in front of Gary. And is it too much to climb? Is it too much of a mountain to climb, Matt? In 7 laps?
I think it is, But the other thing as well is we say Gary's got to do a job and hopefully not lose the car like we've seen him doing the season. Jamie's got to do the same thing. Jamie's got to push even harder than Gary. Gary can sit back a bit and finish 1 or 2 cars behind at the moment, because Jamie's got to win the race or finish second with Gary 4th or 3rd or lower. So, at the moment, I'd say Big Boy Brazy is the one who could make the mistakes, as he's the one who's got to push forward. Welshie in the wall there, it seems. So he looks like he's lost it coming on the exit to the corner then. Down in P12 at the moment is Welshie. He could lose out to Littleach in this one at the moment. That gap's 10 seconds between them two. But at the minute, Emo Guy from Unorthodox, from Deeks. Net first is Emo Guy by 8 seconds from Dan. Now, question, them 3 have to pit. Where are these 3 going to pop up? Because Dan at the minute is flying. Could Dan jump Gary here, with Gary being held up by Andy? That is the question. This is going to be an interesting battle till the end of this race.
Indeed, and when do they pit? Daniel, as you said, last lap a 1:20.0, so he's moving along quite nicely in that car. The only person quicker is Jamie. In the 1:19s, who's absolutely flying. But as we said, how many laps left? Funny you should ask that, Beth. There's 6 now. I didn't know I'd mentioned that or not. Beth must be out now making her getting that T-shirt printed. Gary for president.
Gary
ready for when
FIA
he takes
Prime Minister.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's it's looking like it's swinging Gary's way at the moment, but still Jamie banging in those fast laps.
Yeah, he is indeed, but fast laps, he's not making the progress he needs. He's still 2.8 off the back of D Biggs here, and he's really got to now push every lap that goes by. He's got to push that little bit harder, and you could see mistakes start to creep in. There in the foreground you see Gary and D Biggs and Andy, but it's not enough. Gary can't get past Andy, but Gary doesn't need to get past Andy. He doesn't need that 4th place. Could we crown Gary a 2? Now, hats off to Jamie Brady here. We know the guy's quick. Won the Pro-Am last season to come into the Pro and has took it to the Pro, defending champion as well at the moment in this season. So hats off to Jamie for that one. But it's Gary's experience of winning in the Pro category going to win him this championship here. And we've seen him all season struggle at tracks. When he says he likes the changeable conditions, we've seen him struggle. But here, Gary doing what the champion is. He's having a champion's drive. A very Colin Turkington drive, if you agree with me there, in terms of he's not pushing.
Gary.
Gary, a very Colin Turkington-esque drive. He's not pushing for the points. He knows what he's got to do, and he's settling. Like you see Colin Turkington do.
Yeah, or Fernando Alonso was also one for that. Would just calculate and think, see what he has to do, be consistent to put a championship together. And yes, Gary is driving that race right at the moment. He's been neat and tidy through this meeting. Do you know what I mean? Ironed out some of those mistakes that we've made Gary famous for by commenting on them. I apologise to Gary for the amount of times we've commented about his mistakes, but not making any of those this evening. Just running a nice, steady, smooth race. Just what he needs to do.
Emo Guy's pitted and has come out 11 seconds up the road from these guys. So what a job he is doing in this final race of the season. Ian is flying. Deeks 10 seconds behind him in P3, which Andy and Gary are coming onto the back of. Dan now leads this race. I think Dan, may jump Big Boy Brazier here. He may come out around D-Big's Big Boy Brazier. I don't think he's got enough to Gary, depending on his pit stop though. So Dan could really chuck his hat in for... Oh no! I say that he's not going to do it like that. As I say, he's chucking his hat in the ring to make this championship fight even more exciting. He's not going to do it like that. But hats off to Deke, still P3. But Andy and Gary are closing in. Ultimately, as well, Big Boy Brazy is gaining on the back of D Biggs. You see in the background there, Gary still sat behind Andy. He's not making that move. He's not wanting to get past these guys here. As that Bozzy Boy comes into the pits at the end of lap 17, then. Only Unorthodox and Deeks left to pit. Who's first and third?
Yes, indeed. Jamie's pace still in the 119s. He's absolutely flying, but he's now coming up behind D Biggs, so he's got to overtake. D Biggs is for position, so he's got to pass him. Although he's got a time penalty, that time penalty is going to do him no good in this race with 4 laps to go. No. That's 4 laps to go, Bethany, that is. And that's going to do him no good. It's a time penalty for D Biggs.
I think Deeks has just gone into the... he's got himself a time penalty as well. What a shame. He's just picked up a time penalty at the minute. Jamie, no points at Snetterton has cost him. Indeed, it has. His Snetterton race, he's going to cost him here in this season, says Kieran Argent. But ultimately as well,
quite right.
Maybe a bit of inexperience in the pro category of where to pick up points is going to cost him, because at times he's lost a few points, making overly aggressive moves. Gary now sits 4th. There's that Bozzy Boy out the way. I wondered who was that.
He's good on the grass. That was isn't he?
I tell you what, though, he's done brilliant. Say he's learning the pro and he's testing a new car. He's done well to stay out the way and not get involved.
No, absolutely, and all jokes aside, he's doing exactly that, staying out of the way, blah blah blah. But it looks like he's doing grass track today, and
it does,
he's taking more interesting lines than Daniel. So
here's the pit stop.
We know why he's doing it. Yeah.
Here's the pit stop we've been waiting for. Dan in the pits. D Biggs has made a mistake, and Jamie Brazier is through P5.
Has he made a mistake, or did he let him through?
Well,
I thought that was a bit of a bizarre one, to be fair.
Yeah, it was very. Interesting. Now, Dan, what's his pit stop going to be? We said he could come out ahead of these guys. He's away now. Where's Andy? There. I tell you, Dan could be in just around the Jamie Brazier contest. He's coming up to speed now. There goes Andy. There goes Gary. He's done Jamie Brazier. So maybe without his spin, he'd have done Gary. So Jamie, again, as he sees the back of Gary's car, has to stare at the back of another Porsche. Oh, Jamie Brazier, you cannot make it up. Gary on the podium, 15 points for him. Big boy Brazier only scoring 11. Gary doing what he needs to. It's Emo Guy from Andy. Gary unorthodox, and here goes Gary. He's going to look up the inside, a late lunge. And has he got it done? Andy's had to go very wide there. And Gary's up into P2. And just when you think, oh, he doesn't need to make these moves, he has done.
Yes, indeed. I wish I'd followed that a little bit better because they all changed there. Gary went past Andy. Andy went down. Gary went down the inside. Andy went wide. Let Gary and Dan through. Yeah, so that all changed very, very quickly. So now Jamie's got the back of a Lamborghini and a Porsche in the way. It's all slipping away from him really quickly now.
It is, isn't it? Jamie would not have liked to see that, but Dan is looking racing. Is he looking on the back? And look at that. Jamie is now right on the back of these three. Gary has got the penultimate lap and the final lap to go. There's 2 laps left of this season. There's 2 laps left of this championship. And at the minute, it's going to be Gary 131. But it's not over yet. Anything in this race and in this league can happen.
Yes, indeed. And for God's sake, Daniel, don't take Gary out. You and me will never be able to show our face on Simplay again. Do not take him out. So I've said it. Let's hope he doesn't. This is Jamie's view. Jamie needs to be where that first Porsche is, in front of that. In fact, he needs to be in front of the red Lamborghini that's winning.
He does. He does.
He does. So it's. I think it was a valiant effort from Jamie, but unless. The fat lady hasn't sung, but my God, she's warming up. You know, the race
the race isn't over yet. The 13 seconds are, and Jamie just pushing a bit too hard, just getting a bit scruffy through the middle part of this track. And although Emo Guy looks set, home and dry to take this race win, he knows that he's got to get past Gary with unorthodox. Oh, Jamie, look at him there! He's really wringing the neck of that Lamborghini. And he's all over the curbs. Go on, Gary, all or nothing. He was. Fair. Smithy says Gary all or nothing. I second that, says Beth. Smithy, Jamie, save it for the go-karting at Beckles, I think that says. I think obviously now that we're opened up a bit more, Jamie and Gary are go-karting with a few others because they all live near each other, so that'll be interesting to see who wins that battle. But at the minute, Gary is the one who's in the ascendance here. Peaceful staying well out the way of these 4. Andy's just dropping off the back a little bit, and Dan here on the back of Gary. Jamie needs to see Dan get past, Andy get past, and himself get past. But not only get past the pair of them. And here goes Dan. He's going to look up the inside. As he know he tucks back in to the rear of Gary's car. He's very slidey through the corner and tucks back in the behind of Gary. And I tell you what, Gary must be squeaking his bum together there, because that was all a bit hairy. Emo Guy's to base, and Dan's got past him. He's done him at the hairpin. Now Andy's looking on the back of Gary, and has Jamie got a lifeline here? Has he got a bit of hope in this title? Oh, it's going one way and the other.
Gary, you don't need Gary. Don't fight him back. You don't need to. You don't need to. Don't fight him back. Don't spin this and lose this all on the last lap. Just hold station, Gary, for God's sake. If you're listening to me, listen.
Emo Guy is coming up. Oh, Andy's pinned it!
Andy's gone wide.
Oh, he's lost it on the final lap. Emo Guy, I think he's going to cross the line anytime now. We may have just missed that. No, he crosses the line now to take the final win of the season. Well done to him. He drove a fantastic race. Dan looks like he's set to take a P2, but ultimately the championship is going to be won. Photo finish between the teammates across the line, and Gary 131 is a 2-time champion at Simplay, and Jamie Brazier fought him hard all the way, but Gary has done it at the end.
What a race, what a race, what a championship. Well done to Gary, a deserving championship, but what a fight from Jamie. Do you know what I mean? They've kept us on the edge of our seats for this final round and all the way through the championship. Fantastic racing from those guys. But let's have a quick word with let's have a quick mention to the race winner, of course, Ian, and securing 3rd place in the championship. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. He's done absolute bits there. Andy did cross the line to come home P5. D Biggs will take P6 in a good result for him. He managed to stay 10 seconds ahead of Sooty Apex, who takes 7th place in the finale. Phil takes 8th, with Monkey Boy getting a P9.
Another podium for Dan.
Yeah, another podium for Dan. Cracking stuff for him.
Watch out for him next season.
He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Deeks, great shout out to him. P10 in this race with Peaceful Explosion finishing P11. Not the end of the season I'm sure me and you would have wanted for Peaceful Explosion. Welshie crosses the line to finish P12 in this one, with Little Eats 13th and that Buzzy Boy crossing the line P14. Fastest lap of the race goes to Jamie Brazier with a 1:19.3. He was on fire. We're just going to cut to a different screen a second while we just get a few people in for an interview. So while we just await these guys coming in, we are back here then, and Gary is your champion of Simplay for Season 2. He's a two-time champion, and what a season it has been from all the drivers and everybody up and down the pro grid. But we've got the top three as well in the podium. I know Gary got third, we'll come to him last. So Dan, that was a great drive in that second race, from the back of the field to second.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. The car definitely had pace all evening, and after race one, let's say uncharacteristic mistake of hitting Andy, and I apologise to him massively in our party. The car had pace, it was quick, and I could keep with Jamie and Gary and all them lot, and I just kept making silly errors. But yeah, I was trying to hunt Emo Guy down, but he was just matching me too much, and it was... No, it was a good drive from pretty much last to second. I'm happy with that, and a great fight with Gary, Big Boy Brazy, Andy, all of them lot. It was probably the best racing I've had in ages.
Yeah, you managed to get Gary on the final lap, and we thought, you know, when we seen Gary go up the inside of Andy, we thought, Gary, he's making a move he doesn't really need to make, and then you come back at him, and it all got a bit close at one stage. And obviously, you want to win the race and get as many points as you can, but you also want to stay out the championship fight and not kind of ruin that one. Did you think at one stage just sit behind Gary, I don't want to be involved, or was your mindset on Ian?
My mindset was on Ian. I made one mistake, so if I'd made a mistake, then surely Ian was going to make a mistake, and I wanted to finish the season on a high. And I could see Gary and Andy in front of me, and I wanted that podium. I wanted at least a podium, and I was determined to get past. The move that I made on Gary wasn't actually meant to be on. I saw him go wide, and I locked my brakes up. The rear locked up as well and started sliding. So I didn't actually mean to go for the move. It just ended up happening. So... if I did make contact with Gary, I apologise, but I don't think we did.
No,
but,
I don't think we did see anything. We just changed.
No, we didn't.
So
No,
Dan,
yeah.
So Dan, is it game on for next season? You sticking with the Porsche? You've had a great run of podiums.
Yeah.
Surely you've got to have a crack for the championship next year, haven't you?
Well, if I can get a particular teammate that would quite happily stay in the Porsche with me, then I don't see why not. I think there might be discussions with certain drivers on the grid, and maybe
we've heard there's been discussions. Yeah.
We can challenge for Little Leech's title. Sorry, the Leech's title. You know, the car has pace, as shown by Gary and Little Leech. I can race in it, and I've proven that I can get on the podium. So if I can have a good start to the season, I've seen the calendar as well. They look like circuits that I do pretty well at. So I don't see why not. But I might as well. Let's go for it. Dan, just finally,
looking forward to that.
7 podiums, one of them being a win. You got rid of the Ferrari early doors, enough for that one. And you, like Kelly's just said, you've been flat out in that Porsche. You've been unbelievable. Probably the driver of the second half of the season, in my opinion.
It's just something about this Porsche. It's just me and this car just hook up, and I want to be. I don't really care too much about what positions. I just want a good fight with people. And in the Ferrari, I didn't have that. Like, I'm happy to finish second because the three of us all had a solid fight towards the end.
Yeah.
And there was no contact made. It was clean. It was fair. And I just thrive off that. I'm literally like bouncing now because of that fight. But 7 podiums, I'll be happy with that. And in the wet races as well was where I feel like I excel.
Meister.
So.
Indeed, you did. Well done tonight. We hope to see you on the grid next season. That was a good one from you. Ian, another race win from yourself. 2 race wins this year again. 7 podiums for yourself. 2 of them being race wins. Great drive in that second race. Didn't go your way the first race, but second race, everything seemed to fall in place for you.
Yeah, I just had a fantastic start of the flag, and I just went from there. I noticed how much of a gap I had going into turn 1, and I just continued to grow from there. But my tyres, they were really starting to die towards the end, so I was kind of struggling. So I was.
It certainly didn't.
Go on, Kelly.
Sorry, Matt. I said it certainly didn't show. You seem to have that race all under control, Ian. It seemed to be, lights to flag, all yours really. As you say, the tyres starting to go off towards the end. Did you find it, other than that, reasonably comfortable?
Yeah, I did. Dan did get close quite a few times during that race. And at certain points, I was hoping he would catch up. That way, we could have a battle. At the same time, I was hoping that I could keep the gap and take a hold for the win. And unfortunately, he did have that spin, which did allow me to bring that, put that gap even bigger. After he went to freeze pits, and I just went on from there.
Yeah,
well, good effort for sure.
Great racing, Ian. Again, challenging for the title next year. You've had pace, P3 overall this season. So is it a case of come back next year and really make a go for that title?
Oh yeah, 100%. If my teammate Andy is going to be staying with us for the next season, then I feel like we're definitely going to be in for a chance at taking the fight to the title in a different car.
Well, best luck for next season, mate. I saw Jamie come in. We'll just grab a quick chat with him before Gary. Jamie, mate, commiserations. Didn't go your way at the very end. We seen you ragging that Lamborghini around, and you pushed it hard throughout that fight. But again, the pit stop letting you down, and didn't get the best out of the car in that second race.
No, I tried pushing the car as much as it would go, and I just thought, got to go with the soft tyre because I know I'll be quicker at the end of the race. But I was just too far behind Gary after I'd come out the pits.
Now, 11 podiums for yourself, 2 of them being wins with 3 poles and 3 fastest laps. It's been a good season for yourself. Do you look back at Snetterton where you scored no points through internet problems as the race where the championship was lost for you, or is there other races in the season where you think, oh, if I did this, if I didn't do this, maybe this would have been different?
No, Snetterton I don't feel as too bad because it was my drop score, so it wouldn't have counted anyway.
Yeah.
But there's races, say like the second race at Daytona and then last week at Bathurst, which, yeah, if they'd gone to plan, then who knows? I probably might be champion.
Yeah, commiserations, mate. It's been a fascinating season between you and Gary, and we hope to see you challenging again once more next season.
Yeah, so it was a good send off for the Lambo, and be back next season for Gary's title with a fresh new car and a fresh new teammate.
What are you going to drive for next year, Jamie?
You have to wait and see.
Oh well, I certainly will. I'm going to say it now, but to you and Gary, for all the guys, actually, thank you for the entertainment. I thought it was a great championship with plenty of highs. So congratulations. Wasn't quite the championship win, but what an effort. Well done.
Thank you, Kelly.
My pleasure.
We're going to grab a quick word with Gary. 2 times constructors, 2 times drivers champion. You're a natural, aren't you?
I wouldn't say that, but we try to put all the work in and hard work we can, and yeah, it pays off. So
I've got one question for you though. You seem to be able to finish races here. Why can't you do it on a Friday night? Otherwise, we'd be winning that constructors championship on F1.
That's very true. I don't know. This car just suits me better, I suppose.
Nah. You've had a great season, highs and lows for yourself. Obviously, tricky winter conditions in some wet races, G at the beginning of the season didn't make things easy for you neither. But you've been brilliant this year. Lots of wins. Porsche next year, or?
Still in discussion, but yeah, we'll hold our cards close to our chest, and yeah, we'll see next season.
And I have to ask you, surely you're going for the three championships in a row next year?
Well, if I ain't, I won't be racing. So.
Any final words from yourself, Gary, on this championship? It's been a mega year for yourself. I'll just bring up your stats now. You've taken 11 podiums, 7 of them being wins, so really dominant performance.
Yeah, to be fair, I think I've won more this year, but last year I was a bit more consistent. I've been kind of up and down this year, to be fair, and the wet weather hasn't been kind to me like it has in the past.
Yeah, I mean, we've given you a hard time, I suppose, on the stream, really. And I don't know if you listen to it as you're racing or if you even watch it back. But you know, we've given you a hard time with those mistakes. No such mistakes this evening. I thought you drove a really, really good race tonight, and I want to say the same as I just said to Jamie. Really, you know, thank you for the entertainment. It's been a cracking good season. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching you guys. And commentating on it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to next season and seeing you defend that, and for a hat trick of championships. That would be lovely.
Yep, we'll definitely be giving it a go, and thank you very much for commentating, and I hope you will join us again next season.
I certainly intend to.
Well, Gary, it's been a pleasure. For the 17 people watching, let's give Gary one more round of applause for his two-time champion now. What a drive he's had this year. Congrats to every driver on the grid. AH&G, who we sadly lost through the season. Master, who couldn't be with us tonight to end the season as well. Let's not forget him. And then everybody else. Sooty, Little Each, Phil, Peaceful, Emo Guy, Andy, Fury, Unorthodox, Keegs, Big Boy Brazier, D-Bigs, Deeks and Welshie. Congrats to everybody who's taken part. Kelly, thank you so much for being in the commentary box with me this season. It's been a pleasure to have you in, and I hope we'll have you back for season 3 as well. Many more races coming. A few more British tracks on there. Donington and Silverstone next year. We can surely use some touring car banter on as the season begins to.
Oh, absolutely, and we'll have so much more banter to get through for sure. I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who took part, and thank you to you, Matt, as well for having me here on Simplay. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. It's been, you know, through these tough times that we've all experienced, you know, regardless of class, colour, sex, whatever. We've all had to endure this horrible times we've had in our lives, and for so many people, including myself, it's been something to enjoy. Do you know what I mean? And something to look forward to, and something to feel normal again. So, you know, I've met many virtual friends in a short space of time that I'm hoping to meet up in flesh as we get through the year, and you know, and looking forward to meeting some of those people for real, and super excited to come back for the next season if Simplay will have me back, you know. So
we'll have you back.
Thank you to everyone.
We'll have you back in a flash, Kelly. It's been an absolute pleasure. Join us then in the off season. Keep your eyes posted on the Facebook page, Instagram and group for the 24-hour event, the oval event, and the full 100% race on Formula 1. Maybe a few other special events in the off season as well. Calendar with dates will be fully released. Obviously the tracks was released later last week. The calendar will be fully released with dates this weekend, so keep your eyes out for that one. But for the final time this season, we have to say goodbye, and a pleasure. Keep your eyes out for the special events in the off season. Check out Motive Racing, who are a third of their way through their season at the moment. Tomorrow night, Formula 1, me, Gary, will be on there trying to challenge the McLarens, and trying to challenge the McLaren and the Alpha Tauri, because Gary will probably crash.
I'll join him in the wall.
While me and Andy are commentating on that and trying not to dish you too much.
No,
don't forget, guys, the dynamic duo will be back. Matt and Kelly will be back in the commentary box again Sunday night for the touring cars, where their speciality is.
I was just trying to get a word in edgeways from everyone there and said, forget all that Formula 1 rubbish. The main event is Sunday nights on Motive. Come and see me make a complete fool of myself in Tier 2 on track, and then for me and Matt commentating for the Tier 1s.
And then come and watch me and Kelly destroy Unorthodox and Gary in that BMW. BMW in Tier 1 later that evening. And that's
there as well, don't forget.
If you're going to tune into Motive on Sunday night for Tier 1, please join me and Kelly in the commentary box. Leave a thumbs up, comment in the chat. If you want to see great touring car banter and some great touring car battles, that is the place to be. Motive Racing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday while we're in the off season. We'll be back shortly though, guys. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe to this channel. But for the final time here at Simply Motorsport, we'll see you in the future. See you in season 3. Take care and good night.
Thank you. Good night.
See you.
Beth's just come downstairs and absolutely pumped fists in the air for you there, Garrett.
Well done, Gary.
Well done, Gary.
Gary for president. Gary for president.
Congratulations, bud. You deserve it.
That's a good race, that last one.
Oh, I don't want that season to end, because that season's just got better as it's gone on, to be fair.
To be honest, mate, that last lap, my arse was clenching. I could see you were struggling, and I was like, I want to get past him, but I don't want to hit him.
I don't know if it's because... Sorry, go on.
I see you'd locked up and was sending up the inside, so I just made wide to let you pass. I thought, I'm still a car in between me and Jamie, and he's still got to get past me anyway. So.
Oh, okay. I honestly thought, like, I saw you lock up, and then I locked up, and I was like, oh, shit. Then I came off the brakes, and the rear started going. I was like, oh, fuck, here we go. I'm going to plough into him, and that's going to be all over the stream. I've hit Andy once, I'm not going to hit Gary. What the fuck? Here we go.
I was saying that. I was saying, don't hit Gary, don't hit Gary. It's all over the stream. Me going, down.
Normally the other way around. It's normally the other way around. Gary, don't hit Dan.
Please hit Gary.
I tried to let you pass coming out the first corner, and then you just sat behind me, and I was like, oh dear.
Well, I didn't know if you were letting me go or pass, and then that quick left-hander, I was like, are you sure? Fucking hell. That's an interesting point to let me go.
I've got a trust there to leave you the gap.
Yeah, I know. You left me the gap, but I was like, I'm probably going to fuck that up. So I was just like, I'll wait for the hairpin. I'll wait for the hairpin.
It's like, for me, that entire last lap, my tyres were so dead. I was actually having to go at half speed. I was so worried that I was going to either losing it or you.
Was that when he finished?
You were so far in front of me, and I thought you still had the pit.
Oh no,
yeah. I was catching him. I was slowly catching him, but I just kept fucking up. I just kept fucking up.
I tell you what, it was one of those races that could have had another 10 laps and been good. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell you what though. Steve Beggs was fucking slow, man.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't believe how slow he was, because obviously I got caught up in the incident at the start of the race, and I was a good 5 seconds back off the pack, and I was like, oh, fuck's sake. Within 2 or 3 laps, I was back on you guys. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
When you got past Phil, there was an incident with there was the 3 of you, wasn't it? Gary, Jamie, and Andy all had a bit of a clumsy first corner, bumped into each other and all the rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you caught up on the back of them like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, I know. I was like, holy shit! I'm like right on. As soon as the pit window.
Jamie, did you change tyres again?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah. Mind you, you were flying. You were in the 119.
Tyres.
Yeah, I changed tyres because that first race, like,
the tyres are dead.
Yeah, that first race, like, I changed tyres and I caught Gary like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. Oh dear. Not
seconds.
Not too much. Not too much.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
Not too
Yeah, it
much,
wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I didn't lose that much behind Gary.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh,
I was in the
Is it me, or does it seem to be that some tracks are better pit stops than others?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
tyres?
Bruno was quite quick.
Yeah.
Bruno was quite
Yeah.
quick.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know it is.
I know race 1, Ian forgot to open his radiator, so he was so
Yeah.
slow in a straight line. He was
It's
so
not just
slow.
It's not just that, it's the fact that it took me like 10 seconds just to get the radiator fucking fixed.
Yeah.
Right,
the
that's-
first race.
Mechanics are so shit.
Yeah, they are.
They are shit, yeah. And they're all dressed like Daft Punk tonight.
Well done this season. Well done, everybody.
Thank you, Matt.
Right.
Thank you for running it, mate. Thank
No,
you
of
for taking your time and effort to do this. I love it every week.
Has anyone seen this? Gasly's joined Alpine.
No, he hasn't.
What?
April
has.
Fool.
It's an April
April
Fool.
Fool. April
Oh,
Fool.
I just realised that.
I got done by an April Fool's this morning. I saw one on a touring car group. It said there's going to be a mandatory pit stop for race 3 in the touring cars, and I thought, oh, that'll spice things up. Click the link, and it was just something that said April Fool's, and I was like, oh.
I've just seen this. It's it says Alpine F1 team. It was put 3 hours ago, but instead of it being like a verified tick sign, someone's just put a 7 there, so it looks like a verified tick.
Yeah, someone did earlier. Callum Ilott to Haas. The one I'm not sure of is Haas today come up saying that they'd been. I saw someone on Twitter saying that Haas had been done for a legal car with a livery, and I didn't know whether that was true or the livery, but looking like the Russian flag. I didn't know if that was true or not.
Oh yeah, they were getting fucked for it.
It's a German sponsor, isn't it? It's a German sponsor, not a Russian sponsor. So, but obviously Mazepin being Russian.
Yeah, and his old man's put big money in, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It's his company on the side of it.